going on, but regardless of what you call this matchup, two teams here with a lot of history against each other. They've battled each year since 2008, and of course we're talking about the Sequoyah Chiefs and the Creekview Grizzlies. Both teams coming off of bye weeks, both with solid defensive play so far. The offense is what has struggled so far for both of these teams, but both looking to get things going here tonight against one another. Two schools separated by around 8 miles of road, that being East Cherokee Drive, the 13th meeting all time between these schools, and it should be a good one. Coming up in just a moment, we are going to introduce you to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Cherokee pregame show. Our very own Will Golden Boy Cooper and Art Mosley joining us here tonight as we get set to talk more about this one and some of the other area games going on around Cherokee County and involving Cherokee County schools tonight. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a Friday night of high school football as we bring it to you live from Skip Pope Memorial Stadium on the campus of Sequoyah High School. Stay with us 2 minutes and then back with more pregame. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
Welcome to Perk Up. What can I get you?
Can I have a large, skinny, non-fat macchiato with
My 15-year-old has the taste buds of a middle-aged woman, but she's no adult. That's why we took her to Children's for her scoliosis. Their pediatric orthopedic program is nationally ranked. Their specialists understand growing bones and how to treat them. My kid ordering an adult-style coffee? Okay. Going to an adult doctor? Not so much.
Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Orthopedics. Where you take them matters. Learn more at choa.org/ortho.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
Hi, I'm Dave Garner.
And I'm Janet Mueller.
And we're your local Woodman Life representatives.
You know, Dave, it must be tough announcing games and still providing financial security through life insurance, retirement, and member benefits.
Well, Janet, it's an honor, but it means that I have a great partner when it comes to protecting families from financial hardship.
So come see us.
Or call us at 706-273-9347.
Or 770-894-7898.
And find out how Woodman Life can help you leave memories, not expenses. Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
As an athlete, you put it all on the line each and every day. Training, skill, and dedication. It's with these same characteristics that Pinnacle Orthopedics puts it all on the line for you, ensuring that you continue to play the game you love. With 5 locations and 16 physicians and surgeons, Pinnacle Orthopedics is the team physician for Kennesaw State University, as well as for many other schools and teams. Using only the latest technologies, Pinnacle Orthopedics is dedicated to keeping you at the top of your game.
Welcome to Skip Pope Stadium here in Canton, Georgia for the Battle of Hickory Flat, as I will call it, because that's what I've called it my entire life, that the history has gone on of this series. I don't know where you people picked up the Battle of East Cherokee. That's a Sequoyah thing. Everybody knows that from the Creekview side, it's the Battle of Hickory Flat, and since I am unfortunately living in the Creekview district for a long part of my life, I do call it that. But obviously with Dave and his ties to Sequoyah, not going to throw him out there in the dirt too much, but there's the Battle of East Cherokee Drive.
There's one school in Hickory Flat. The other one's in Macedonia.
And it just so happens that the one in Macedonia owns the one in Hickory Flat. But that's not here the point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the other games we've got on the county schedule first before we hop into this one. The first one that we have is we're going to have a look at the Roswell and Etowah game. So all of our teams now are into region schedule. So all the teams were off on a bye week last week, Art. And coming into this week, Roswell coming in 4-0, Etowah 0-4. Etowah is a pretty big underdog going into this one, but it is against Coach Kemper and his former teams. There's a lot of fireworks sure to be going off in this one.
Certainly there are. Will, Coach Kemper knows that Etowah team very well. The problem is his team's only averaging 7.5 points per game. They're having a tough time getting going on offense. And then defensively, they're allowing 27 points a game. Clavert Manning kind of got off last time out. He's at over 270 yards. He's got 2 touchdowns on the season. And then we've got Brock Rechsteiner leading the team in receptions. But, man, on the cross the other side of the field, you've got a Roswell team where the Cherokee County folks should know Robbie Roper, former Woodstock quarterback, all he's done is thrown for 927 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's got 2 receivers, Marquise Willis and Michael Fitzgerald, that will probably give that Etowah defense some fits.
You're right, you are about that. Etowah comes in 0-4. Their 4 losses are to Creekview, the team we'll see here tonight, River Ridge, North Forsyth, and North Cobb, so not an easy schedule coming into this one. And Roswell coming into this one with a much easier schedule, but still an impressive 4-0. Centennial, North Paulding, Campbell, and Walton all on their schedule. Roswell, a 28-point favorite according to my rankings, 31. Cal Preps, Turd, you picked them by 11, and Pat with the Cherokee Tribune picked them by 14. Roswell leads the series all-time 15-7. Moving on to the Battle of the Rivers, River Ridge and Riverwood. This will be their second meeting all-time. River Ridge comes into this one 4-0 with wins against Lassiter, Woodstock, Etowah, and Chattahoochee. Riverwood comes into this one 3-1 with wins against North Springs, Woodward Academy, Centennial, and their loss last week to, once again, another region foe, Johns Creek, so making them 0-1 in the region. River Ridge in this one a 13-point favorite according to my rankings, 12-point favorite according to Cal Preps. You had them by 9 points, and Pat had them by 10 points, and by 14. And as we mentioned, this is only the second meeting of this series. What are you looking for in this one, Art?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're not looking for Amir Morrison, then you got to be looking, maybe you ought to not be watching football. Amir Morrison for River Ridge, a #1 rusher in Class 6A, even with the bye week last week at 827 yards, and all he's done, 12 touchdowns add on to that. They've got to get Amir going and for River Ridge, and they've also got to get that receiving game going. They went away from it a little bit, didn't have to because Amir rushed for 300-something yards last week. Defensively, though, those defensive ends, Brian Bradley and Hunter Derzo, they've got to get after Riverwood's quarterback, Avery Smith. They list him as a pro style. I watched the film. The guy's a dual threat. He can beat you with his arms and his legs. And most importantly, they've got to stop Donovan Logan, the receiver, a speedy guy, not huge at 5'9", 167, but he's a guy that can make some plays in the open field, and they try to get him the ball in a bunch of different ways.
A lot of talent going into that one on both sides of the field. As we mentioned, Amir Morrison. Really the big bet of the day in that one is if Amir Morrison's going to have the 70-yard touchdown run that he's had in every game coming into this one.
Absolutely.
The kid is just a machine. He was featured on GPB, so a big shout-out to Von Brown, who's not here with us today. He's unfortunately locked away in his house at the tavern, so we know he's listening. Von, we appreciate you, partner. We're glad that you're being able to be with us, even if it is vicariously and through Art, but we're glad Art's here as well. Moving on to the other county games. So this one is Sequoyah and Creekview, but the other county game going on is Woodstock and Cherokee. Woodstock comes into that one 2-3 with wins against the Sequoyah team that we'll see here and Campbell, and their 3 losses against 3 really good teams, River Ridge, Creekview, and Calhoun. Cherokee comes into this one, really the storyline of the year at 5-0. Wins against Carver, Sequoyah, Rome, who people think is not impressive, Creekview, and Cartersville, who some people would even say that win is not impressive. Art, can you imagine anybody saying that?
I could definitely imagine someone said. I think I said it at one point.
Oh, how funny! I was wondering where I read it.
Look, and no disrespect to Cherokee, they've done everything they've had to do. 5-0, great start to this season. They have beat some traditional powers, but those powers might not be as powerful. Nevertheless, you got to go in and win those games. They've done it on the strength, really, of Keith Adams Jr. and a very stingy defense once they get in the red zone. They'll be facing a Woodstock team that has had a little bit of a resurgence at quarterback with Dan Como starting. Just in 2 games, he's thrown for almost 500 yards. But we know that's possible in that Air Buddy offense. It's a matter of whether that defense can stop people. They're allowing 23 points per game as Woodstock. So my concern is, can Cherokee get that passing game going that we know A.J. Swan's capable of? And if he does, that can be trouble for Woodstock.
Yeah, A.J.'s really struggling so far in this season coming up here. But looking ahead, you're going to also have the Pickens and Cedartown game, but we'll get back to that after the national anthem. We will pause for 2 minutes on WLJA, and we'll be back giving you the second half of the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta pregame show.
When you are the official sponsor of the comeback, adding a few feet to a drive matters.
First down.
So does shaving 1/10 of a second off a lap. Top-rated surgery, physical therapy, and motion analysis by the sports medicine team at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta helps young athletes not only prevent injuries, but heal faster and return stronger, ready to win. Our more than 25 orthopedic and sports medicine locations are ready to assist your athlete's comeback. To learn more, visit choa.org/sportsmed.
At Foundation Financial Insurance and Wealth Management, we believe that your insurance protection and wealth management plan go hand in hand. We start by shopping your insurance with highly rated companies to find you the best combination of price and protection. With that plan in place, we can then work with you to develop a tailored financial plan. Whether you need to save money on insurance or you need a full financial plan, call us at 678-880-9571 or come by 670 East Main Street in Canton for a no-obligation consultation today. Securities and advisory services offered through Packer Land Brokerage Services Incorporated, an unaffiliated entity, member FNIRA and SIPC.
Not every road is worthy of a postcard, but don't tell that to the new Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires. Where you see 8 hours of road trip torment with stop-and-go traffic, the Michelin Cross Climate 2 with a 60,000-mile warranty sees a sun-filled family safe drive.
The Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire is safer for longer than leading competitors. Discover more at Michelin.com.
Turn to the experts and get a premium tire with premium service. Only at Canton Tire and Wheel in Canton.
Based on resistance to gravel and severe wear testing, compared to Michelin LTX MS, the 70,000-mile warranty only applies to E-metric sizes.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Victoria speaking for Woodstock Furniture Outlet and Woodstock Mattress Stores.
Hey y'all, it's Victoria at Woodstock Furniture and Mattress Outlet. Now we know during post-COVID everybody's raising their prices, not us. And at Woodstock Furniture and Mattress Outlet we have the best 0% interest-free financing available. Come and see us at the furniture store in Akron, Hiram, Rome, and come and see our mattress-only stores in Canton, Kennesaw, and Douglasville and get the best savings.
National anthem performed by the Sequoyah Chiefs Band, which is seated over onto our right side. We're actually on the Creekview sideline here as the confines of Skip Pope Stadium are quite tight, unfortunately, due to some crowding issues. And obviously with social distancing, there are some things that we normally have to take care of, and this is no exception to that rule. But welcome into the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta pregame show. Once again, as we were taking the break, Art and I were discussing the inter-county games and all those sorts of things. And I tell you, Art's a popular guy to bring around this place. I mean, everybody that walks by knows him, patting him on the back. You know, you and Dave and I are sitting here over, like, just wondering, you know, why didn't anybody know us? Feeling a little left out, but it's all right. We won't hold it against you. But, I mean, you can't even get this guy 1 second without hugging.
Well, that was Dr. Carnes walking by, the principal over at Kirkland. And if anybody didn't know, while I coach over here at Sequoyah, my kids attend the Creekview district, so we're very involved in the community over there. So it's hard for me to go anywhere and without seeing anybody I know. It's, you know, I got to start going incognito and wearing the Dave Garner suit or something like that.
The Dave Garner suit. I don't think you would fit into it. You're a little too slim. But. Anyway, when you look at these teams coming out, as we mentioned, we're going over all the county games, but there's actually a little bit of something that people don't know about us, and it's not that we're just a Cherokee County coverage.
That's right.
And you actually brought some actual information, and I'll go over it with you because it's very rare I get to have this conversation.
Okay.
But let's jump into this Pickens and Cedartown game. Pickens comes into this one 2-3, wins against Gilmer and Coosa. Their 3 losses against Chattooga, White County, which is a hard team to beat,
right,
and Union County. And then Cedartown comes into this one 2-2, which may not sound impressive, but their 2 wins are against New Manchester and Heard County. But the big news is their 2 losses are to Rockmart and Calhoun, so 2 really good teams they lost to. CalPreps has Cedartown as a 38-point favorite going into this one. Pickens is going to have their hands full for sure.
They are, and you've got the young quarterback, Sam Stryker, over at Pickens. He's thrown for 741 yards, 3 touchdowns, but also 3 interceptions. The big story, I think, is running back Jared Whitmore with 527 yards, 4 TDs. But I want to talk about Cedartown. You talked about them. That's a 7-point loss to Calhoun. Now, remember, our Woodstock Wolverines went over there and, man, absolutely got hammered by Calhoun. So that should say something about Cedartown. A name I want to mention. This guy belongs on the all-name team, Harlem Diamond, okay? You might not know him, running back for Cedartown. He's the younger cousin of one Nick Chubb, former Georgia running back. So there's a feather to stick in your cap. Harlem Diamond with 237 yards and 2 touchdowns leads the team in rushing. But they're averaging, they've rushed for 842 yards a game. They've only attempted 38 passes, so there'll be a lot of ground game going on over there at Cedartown. I didn't pick this game, but I got to think that 38-point, it's going to ring true tonight.
And speaking of another team that likes to run the ball a lot, let's jump into the Gilmer and Lumpkin County matchup. Lumpkin County will make the voyage over to LJ. Lumpkin comes into this one 0-4. Their losses against Franklin County, Towns County, Banks County, and St. Francis. Gilmer comes into this one having a pretty good year, 2-2, wins against Murray County and East Jackson. Their 2 losses are to Pickens, as aforementioned, and Cherokee Bluff, which is a real tough customer over there in that region. Gilmer is a 42-point favorite according to CalPreps, and you heard that right, 42-point favorite for a wing T team. And Art, Gilmer should be able to handle this one. You don't want to count your chickens before they hatch, but Gilmer's looking good this year.
You don't, and I'm sure Coach Saunders has not counted his chickens before they hatch. If they're going to have any chance of reaching postseason play, this is a game they have to have. You know, they're already 0-1, like you said, Cherokee Bluff. They still got the likes of Dawson County to play over there. So very tough game for Gilmer. They've only thrown the ball, I think, 19 times this season. So they're not, like you said, that's that wing, that running offense that you mentioned. The problem is they're only averaging 17.5 points a game. I think they're going to top that this week. Lumpkin County, man, they're allowing 37 points a game, so it could get ugly. And I really think Gilmer's going to run away with this, pun intended.
Gilmer obviously in that wing T formation, and, of course, we have a close tie to Coach Saunders as he's a good friend of the program, just as the Pickens coach is over there, Jeff Nelson. We appreciate both those guys being a part of our broadcast team. Looking ahead, we're actually going to talk about the game we're at now, and that's the Sequoyah Chiefs versus the Creekview Grizzlies. Creekview comes into this one. They lead the series 9-3. Coach Williams, his second year, 9-5 overall. He had a win last year against Sequoyah, so 1-0. Man, I tell you, their one loss is to Cherokee. They lost that one 14-9. The 3 wins maybe not sound impressive. One was against Etowah, 14-13, came down to the last play. Woodstock was 16-2, but they really pitched a shutout in that one because the safety was not the defense's fault. And then the Cambridge game, 19-0, so a shutout there. This defense is real impressive coming into this one. I tell you, 7 points per game is what they're allowing. Man, they have some of the best pass rushers in the game. They have 22 sacks in 4 games, very similar to what they did last year with 44 sacks over the whole thing. We've been told Owen Mello will be out for this game. They're saving him up, getting him ready for the River Edge game. So Taylor Cox-Young, the young sophomore defensive back, will fill in that role. And another guy that I'm telling you to watch is one guy by the name of Jacob Ellis. Jacob Ellis is the defensive tackle. You normally don't see him for this Creekview team unless it's on a first down or a running-heavy team. But against this wing T offense for Sequoyah, I think we'll see him a lot. On the other side of that coin, Sequoyah comes in 0-4. They have a loss in the region, and that loss is to Johns Creek not last week, but 2 weeks ago, 14-10. Their other losses are to Woodstock, 41-35, a real heartbreaker for them. They lost to Cherokee, 41-20, and then a really good Cass team that will be playing Cartersville today. They lost to Cass 15-10, and they are 0-2 at home. And looking down the sheet there, this is Coach Teeter's 12th season with the team, 105-92 overall record for his career. Teeter's only 2-9 against Creekview. And like we mentioned, Creekview leading this series 9-3. It's going to be interesting to see their wing T offense against this Creekview defense. But remember, Creekview's offense has been struggling just as bad. So it's going to be interesting to see who can come out on top in this one, who can get points on the board, and if you have to take field goals instead of touchdowns, if that'll play into this one.
Absolutely. Just a couple of more series notes. I mean, you just can't get enough of this. But 2 times this game has gone into a double overtime. Sequoyah winners in those games. Average margin of victory in the series overall is 8.9 points, but 7 of those games have been decided by a touchdown or less. You talked about the offenses, both offenses struggling, and we've had a chance to talk to Coach Teeter and Coach Williams on the podcast, the Football Fridays at the Tavern podcast we do with our legendary friend Von Brown. And
fourth down bound.
Both coaches said, hey, we've had some struggles in the red zone, whether it's been penalties, whether it's been just not executing when we need to. And that really, when you're winning a game, if you're scoring 30, 40 points a game, a lot of that gets lost in the numbers. When you're losing by a touchdown or these games are a little bit tighter, execution matters, and that, to me, boils down to discipline. So whichever team can be the most disciplined in the red zone, I think, is going to be the team that's going to have the most success. You talked about Creekview's defensive front, guys like Isaac Hubert, Grant Anderson, those guys really get after the quarterback. We look on the other side at Sequoyah. We've been told that Matthew Trainer's going to be the starter this evening.
Correct.
But, Coach Teeter could have just been feeding. This is not his first rodeo, but Trainer has really moved the offense well for Sequoyah. And, hey, he wanted to give both of his quarterbacks a fair shot. He did. He's going back to the sophomore, a guy who can move the ball, with not only with his arm by throwing the ball, but can also run the ball a little bit, and maybe gives him a little bit more opportunity to create more things on offense. That's one of my thoughts. Is Sequoyah's got to be a little more creative offensively. Will, it's just it can't get behind the chains. And Coach Teeter mentioned that. He said, hey, we don't thrive on second and long and third and long.
No, you're exactly right. I think that's the thing with a wing T team is that you have to get ahead of the mark. You want about 4 yards per play is the goal because then you're into the 3rd and 2 mark. And if you do get stopped on 3rd and 2, 4th and 2, some teams will go for it depending on the situation. But what really hurts them is when they get stopped at the line and it's 2nd and 10, then they do get that 4 yards. But 3rd and 6 is a passing situation for a team like that. You're not really looking for that 4th down conversion, so you really get put behind the line. And that's exactly right. Which quarterback are we going to see? Matthew Trainor's listed as the starter. And we've seen Matthew Trainor once, and we saw him against Cherokee. In that first half, he was able to move the ball incredibly effectively, and he is one of the best athletes I've ever seen. He's only a sophomore, but he was one of the best athletes. He's also listed as the starting free safety for this team. Now, obviously, one of those will give and take. We don't expect to see him at both positions, but he is listed as the starter in both, so we'll just have to see how that plays out. The backup over there is Jaden Mitchell, the slot back that we'll see on the offensive side of the ball as well. But look for a very run-heavy game coming into this one. Creekview, a run-heavy team as well. They have 164 rush yards per game compared to their only 130 passing yards per game, which isn't that big of a difference, but when you consider the attempts, it does get quite big over there. And then, obviously, with a wing T offense, you expect Sequoyah to attempt maybe 10, 15 passes, and really that depends on if they get behind in the 4th quarter and they have to air it out. But, man, I tell you, looking at this Creekview defense, like you mentioned, they have some of the best pass rushers. Isaac Hubert comes to mind. Sam Minosi comes to mind. Grant Anderson over there as well. But also, I'm really excited to see the defensive end for Sequoyah. I feel like they're pretty underrated coming into this one. They have Avery Bourne, and Harrison Hood. Both those guys are incredibly good defensive ends. I've watched them for a couple years now, had the opportunity to watch them grow. I'm really a big fan of both of those guys. I'm expecting a big game from them, and they'll have to have a big game if they hope to keep Brody Rhodes in the pocket because he's quickly jumped out to quite a rushing start, and you don't want to see him get rolling anytime soon. He comes into this game with 248 yards on the ground and only 529 in the air, so he's really a dual threat, which we knew coming into this one, but I would not be surprised to see him run for over 100 yards if he's able to get out of the pocket.
And they might need him to in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, one other thing looking into this one is that when you come in, Sequoyah only has 5 defensive starters that are seniors coming into this one. So there's a lot of youth over there, but a big part of that is Jack Blackman, the strong safety over there. He really is the leader of this team. I had the opportunity to interview him at the beginning of the season, and he was one of those guys that really just kind of struck me as the guide for this whole thing. And I'm really excited to see him play over there as well. And the Creekview offense has gone through a little revamping over the past couple seasons. We talked about this with Dave Garner actually today before we even came to the game. And they've switched more to an old-fashioned style of offense. They're going to do power. They're going to go I formation, single back, pistol formation on 3rd downs. They're not going to split 4 wide receivers out anymore and try and beat you downfield. They really have bunched up and really tried to run the ball effectively. And I tell you, they still have Andrew Coy out at wide receiver. Tristan Summers will fill in over there. And, man, those kind of things are just changing wildly and changing quickly for them over there. And they're going to need those guys, but they're going to rely heavily on Dawson Curry, number 18.
Yeah, Dawson Curry right now leading the team with 16 receptions, 134 yards, receiving yards, He's going to have to get a little bit of help in the passing game. When you go back to the Sequoyah defensive linemen, Coach Teeter kind of raved about those guys, kind of the underrated unit. It's going to be very important for them to, like you said, contain, not just contain, but for them to get some pressure and force Brody Rhodes into some difficult decisions, because if he can break contain, he can really hurt Sequoyah deep, and you don't want to have those safeties trying to tackle that guy.
No, you really don't. And the other thing that we want to talk about is the kickers for this game, because Sequoyah has a huge weapon. We were watching him warm up. The guy can nail a 45-yarder like it's nothing, and that's Steven Zarita for these guys. And he comes into this one with a great record, a long of 49 yards, and, man, he's got the leg for 50-plus. I even made the joke that if you're on the arrowhead, if you're off of the arrowhead on your side of the football, go ahead and kick it. The arrowhead point comes out to about the 48-yard line. So if you're on the 47 or anywhere near that and it's 4th down, it's time to kick the ball. And that's just being facetious about it, obviously. But with the defensive battle that we expect and the running games that we expect, I wouldn't be surprised to see him come into this equation. And obviously the guy on the other end, Ty Hubert, is also the place kicker for Creekview, and he has a great leg as well, just maybe not as much range as we expect out of Zarita. So watch for that matchup coming into this one.
And Zarita also leading the county in punting and net average, so that'll be interesting to see if field position comes into play, which most high school football games that does. So can he flip the field a couple of times and help Sequoyah out if that offense can't get rolling?
Well, this is normally the time when I ask Vaughn for his keys to the game, but Art, I understand you brought a couple of your own, so if you want to go ahead and give them to us, go for it.
Hey, here's my keys. For Creekview, they've got to score in the red zone, plain and simple. No other analysis needed to that. get Brody Rhodes going early. I think in the passing game, I'd like to see some short and intermediate passes for Brody to get it loosened up, that Sequoyah defense, because you got to think they're going to be keying in on Tyler Stevens. They must be sound in the kicking game. Last time we were at Creekview, man, we saw a couple of blunders in the kicking game that really we thought might have cost them that game. They've got to do those things well and then attack Sequoiah's undersized offensive line. That defensive front from Creekview is angry, and like my dad used to say, hey, they've got prayer meeting at the quarterback, don't be late. That's what Creekview's got to do this week. For Sequoyah, they've got to get Jaden Mitchell going early, okay? And they need some explosive plays. Can Aiden Moore or Pie Scores, can one of those guys get going early with an explosive play? Matthew Traynor makes something happen with his legs. Defense has to be disciplined, and they can't play with emotions. This is a rivalry game. They've got to play with discipline. The last thing they've got to do, and we said it already, contain Brody Rhodes. If they can do those things, I think Sequoiah's got a very good chance of pulling what most people would call an upset tonight.
They have a really good chance, and a lot of us feel that way as you hear the fans rise to their feet as the Grizzlies come onto the field. And as we mentioned before, we are on the Grizzlies sideline, so if you do hear a little bit of shouting over one or the other, it's not that we're biased or anything like that. It just so happens that the sideline we're sitting on happens to be the Grizzlies. And, man, Creekview's packed the house on this side. Over there on the Sequoyah side, anybody that's come to Skip Pope Stadium knows that the bleachers are pretty large, and they do seat a pretty good amount, but the student section's quite full over there. And obviously there are social distance out across that, but it looks pretty good over there. So a good Friday night crowd that we expect. But getting back to the upset that we mentioned, would it really be an upset? Well, not exactly. As we mentioned, when you come into this one, Sequoyah is a 1-point favorite according to Patrick O'Shea over at the Tribune. I have Creekview as a 1-point favorite in my rankings. CalPreps has Creekview as a 17-point favorite, and you, my friend, have Creekview by 10. And as a matter of fact, we had some people coming up before we got on air asking, are we sure we're going to stick with that? But it sounds like you're pretty sure of that one. So we'll respect you for sticking to your guns on that one, but it would not be the biggest upset in the world by far. And listen, it's the Battle of Hickory Flat. It's not the Battle of East Cherokee. I know what the poll is even, but it's the Battle of Hickory Flat. We're stopping it right now. It's the Battle of Hickory Flat. Can we get you to agree? Come on.
Creekview's not even in Hickory Flat. Let's go back to the boundary line. It is in Macedonia, and we understand that Creekview fans really have Hickory Flat envy, and I think that's where that Battle of Hickory Flat comes from. So,
but Macedonia now has a racetrack they're building.
They do have a racetrack that seems like it has been ready to be open for about 6 weeks now, and they haven't opened it up.
But they have a Taco Bell. They've had the McDonald's.
Macedonia's coming up.
It is. It's not Hickory Flat yet, but it's getting there. I mean, what's eventually going to happen is it'll absorb Free Home because it'll kind of build into that, and then you'll just have one super community.
Or maybe be absorbed by Ball Ground. You better watch out for that coming.
I mean, they did build a Waffle House up there. I'm not sure if you've gotten off the interstate in Ball Ground, but they have built a Waffle House up there. But you're right. Whatever you call this rivalry, it's nothing short of spectacular, and we're excited for a good game here for this one. We're going to take our final break of the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta pregame show. When we come back, we'll invite Dave Garner, the Golden Voice and the Diamond Man, to bring us through this one. He'll have the play-by-play for you. I'll be staying over here on the sideline, keeping some color for you. And, of course, Art will be with us throughout the duration of this one, and we'll welcome him back at halftime. But, of course, we're glad to have you on the broadcast, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you in 2 minutes. You're listening to WLJA, the Cherokee County Game of the Week.
Welcome to Perk Up. What can I get you?
Can I have a large, skinny, non-fat macchiato with
My 15-year-old has the taste buds of a middle-aged woman. But she's no adult. That's why we took her to Children's for her scoliosis. Their pediatric orthopedic program is nationally ranked. Their specialists understand growing bones and how to treat them. My kid ordering an adult-style coffee? Okay. Going to an adult doctor? Not so much.
Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Orthopedics. Where you take them matters. Learn more at choa.org/ortho.
There's been so much talk about distracted driving, you're probably sick of hearing about it. Well, we'd rather you be sick of hearing about it than lose your life doing it. The caring staff with Sosby Funeral Home in Canton reminds you that we all have to go sometime, but don't rush it. Wait your turn and don't drive distracted. Keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and make sure you stay alert and arrive alive. Drive safely and help us protect our teens. They're the only future we've got. Brought to you by Sosby Funeral Home, honoring life from 191 Jarvis Street in Canton.
Hi, it's Dave Garner, voice of the Cherokee County Game of the Week. But did you know I'm also your local Woodman Life representative and poverty prevention specialist? For over 130 years, Woodman Life has protected families with life insurance and retirement products. And as your local agent, I want to make sure that your money outlives you and that you don't outlive your money. Call or text me at 706-273-9347 or visit my Facebook page at Dave Garner Woodman Life to learn how I can help you or your loved ones today. Insurance protection, financial security, Woodman Life, standing strong for generations.
The #1 magazine to read is Enjoy Cherokee. This beautiful full-color seasonal publication keeps you in the know with articles about interesting people, fun events, hot restaurants, and cool ideas. Enjoy Cherokee is for busy people who enjoy a lifestyle magazine worth reading and keeping. You'll find Enjoy Cherokee available at most high-traffic locations and mailed free to homes throughout Cherokee County. Join the thousands who don't miss a single issue. Follow us on Facebook and find issues on enjoycherokee.com. Ask for a free publication and enjoy.
It's time for some football. Welcome back to Skip Pope Stadium. I'm Will Cooper, and I'm going to be giving it over to my good friend, longtime broadcast partner, the golden voice of the broadcast, the Diamond Man, Diamond Dave Garner. Dave, welcome back in, partner.
Hey, man, absolutely. Looking forward to it here tonight. Temperatures right around 60 degrees as we go under the lights at Skip Pope Memorial Stadium. As my partner said, I'm Dave Garner, Will Cooper, and, of course, Art Mosley. I'm right in the middle of these two guys tonight, so I tell you what, man, I am in for a beating, I'm afraid. But we'll see how it goes. Ronnie Cooper also with us as well upstairs. We are perched a row behind the top set of bleachers on the visiting side over at Sequoyah High School. Again, great stadium, just not enough room in the press box for all the media there. So, again, we are outdoors with the fans here tonight, so if you hear the cowbells in the background, you'll know we're right in the middle of all of it here. So, again, Sequoyah with the opening kickoff right here. Again, they will kick it off to Creekview, who won the toss. And, again, the Chiefs will have Zarita, the big-time kicker with the big leg there. Steven Zarita, the 5'9", 165-pound senior, who will put his right foot into it from the 40-yard line. As Sequoyah kicks left to right across your radio dial. We appreciate you guys being in with us. And we have word that Cherokee returned the opening kickoff. Darius Harshaw ran it back against Woodstock. They did miss the PAT, so that ball game already 6-0. This ball game getting set to kick off here. Again, back deep for Creekview, number 31, Nick Stewart, the senior, one of the return men. Back there around the goal line, comes over and talks to his teammate. Looks like that's Dawson Curry, I believe.
That's correct.
That is back there with him as well. A couple of dangerous return men. So those two break apart. The man under the white hat moves to the back line. He's telling everyone to come on. The whistle's blown. 12 minutes on the clock here, and here we go. His right foot into it. Zarita knocks this ball about 2 yards deep into the center of the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. We'll take a look at that Creekview offense first, averaging 14.5 points a game. And, Will, they've struggled a little bit as we talked about. And, of course, you guys alluded to it in the pregame show just a bit. Got to generate some offense here tonight. We're not used to seeing this Creekview team not put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, you're right. And it really starts with the offensive line. Moving left to right, Anthony Dorr, senior, 6'2", 245 pounds. Left guard, Sam Hartley, junior, 5'10", 230. Braden DeBroa, senior, 6'1", 240. Francisco Perez at right guard, senior, 5'11", 245. And the right tackle, Cooper Saladin, the junior, 6'3", 220. Going to need those guys to push the Sequoyah defense around.
So Brody Rhodes, 4 yards deep out of the gun here with the back right behind him. That's Tyler Stevens. They've got receivers to the right and to the left. And now they will bring a man across the formation there. Again, that's Hayden Thompson in motion, straight ahead. Stevens breaks off of a tackler, tries to bounce it outside of the near side, and has a couple yards up to about the 22. Good open field tackle there. Sequoyah in the secondary coming up to make the hit there. Look like number 20, Ben Sanders, the sophomore, perhaps the first guy there.
Yeah, a really good group of, as we mentioned in the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta pregame show, really good defensive ends over here. I really like these guys coming into this matchup. Avery Bourne on one end, junior, 6'4", 205 pounds, comes in with 15 tackles and a sack. And Harrison Hood on the other end, 6'2", 220-pound junior, 12 tackles and a sack coming into this one. Watch those guys.
Once again, movement right here. Again, Chase Wright in motion, and they will hit a man. That's Stevens out of the backfield, just shy of the 30-yard line. As Brody Rhodes, with his first attempt and completion of the night, puts them in a third and manageable situation, needing just a yard for a first down.
Stevens not only comes into this game being the leading rusher, but he's also close to being the leading receiver, depending on how you view it. If it's by yardage, then he is by 4 yards over Dawson Curry. That completion will give him about 10 yards over Curry, but he's also got 2 of the receiving touchdowns from Brody Rhodes, as he's thrown 4 touchdown passes in this season. So Stevens a huge part of this Creekview offense.
And Brody, of course, just as dangerous with his legs as well. 248 yards rushing, 4.5, and a touchdown there as well to go along with the 529 yards through the air. Here's 3rd down and 1 straight ahead. They give it to the first man through the fullback, who will, great second effort right there, bust across the 30 and get to the 31, and that was Hayden Thompson, the senior, who got the handoff there as they lined him up in the backfield that time at the fullback spot. Needed a yard, picked up 2 and a first down.
So Creekview uses kind of a different lineup. They use fullback, tight end, running back all interchangeably, and they even have Kate Sousa comes in sometimes as well. But Hayden Thompson a little bit bigger, 5'11". A.J. Vaccaro is 6'1", 185 pounds. You'll hear both of those names called tonight as well, and number 3 and number 4 respectively on the lineup.
Chase Wright, the senior, wide of the near side. Twins up top. Once again, a fullback. And Brody Rhodes, quarterback keeper all the way. A little draw play there. A flag comes flying in from behind the play from the referee. And that is in the area of holding. This one may be coming back. If it stands, it's a 6-yard gain up across the 35-yard line. But it is indeed being marched backwards.
Yeah, and it's always a bad sign when your team starts marching backwards before they even give the hand call. But, yeah, a good call on that one over there on the back end. Whenever you see the back judge throw the flag towards the line of scrimmage, you kind of get an idea of what's going on there. And it's really unfortunate for this Creekview offense, who kind of had a few plays rolling here, and now you're back behind the chains again.
2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter. No score on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. Dave Garner alongside Will Cooper, the Golden Boy, back in the booth here tonight. And Art Mosley, man, I'm telling you, Turd Ferguson Report fame, and he's routed a lot of feathers in Cherokee County. But I tell you what, man, he's all over it right here. So after the penalty, it's 1st down and 22. As the Grizzlies try to stay in front of the chains here tonight, looking down the field, they got a man, that's Stevens, once again, who lined up in the slot that time, made a diving grab, or a sliding grab, I should say, up across the 40, right at the 1st down marker. They needed 22, and they got 23.
He ran right towards the sidelines and cut it back right over the middle of the field. Good job by Rhodes to survey the field. Rhodes threw that just underneath him a little bit, but a good adjustment by Stevens to come to the turf and make sure he caught the ball cleanly and enough to move those chains.
Faked the corner route, came back across into the middle, and Rhodes put it on him for the first big completion of the ball game. Here's Tyler Stevens on the ground this time, right side, not near as much room on this particular run. Maybe half yard, and probably did good just to get back to the line of scrimmage there. And, you know, we're seeing this offense trying to open things up here a little bit. They got to stay out of penalties here tonight and try to work their way down the field, maybe open up that pass game a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we saw them really struggle with across most of the time against Cherokee a couple weeks ago, is they were really struggling with the penalties, getting behind, linemen down the field, things like that. They really need to stay ahead of the penalty game and stay ahead of the chains and get those 3rd and shorts.
Creekview still opening drive here, works from their 42. Rhodes again, pass, he's got a man, that's complete to the Sequoyah 40, nearly broke a tackle. Again, that's A.J. Vaccaro downfield. And Brody Rhodes right now really utilizing those backs out of the backfield. Creekview trying to create some mismatches in the back end of that Sequoyah defense. And another big play there as the Grizzlies are now in Chief territory at the 34.
Well, believe it or not, he's also the other leading receiver for this team. Comes in with 8 receptions, 121 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So all 4 of his touchdown passes have been to his backs. But A.J. Vaccaro, a little bit of a bigger back, and he comes in as the fullback in this one, and you'll see him lined up all over the place. And just a great pitch and catch there.
Braden DeBrouwer, the center, leads him up to the line. Twins left and right once again. Rhodes looking to the air. Now he's in trouble. Scrambles left, fires down the field sideline. Had a man there, but he'll throw it out of bounds. Good coverage on the back end there by Sanders. That ball intended for, it looked like Tristan Summers, the junior wideout, down the near side around the 5-yard line. But, again, Rhodes running for his life there, just kind of threw it away.
Yeah, Summers is the guy that's here to replace Andrew Cloy, at least till Cloy gets back from his injury. So I think when you look down the field, you're going to see him. And Dawson Curry is the other guy that we mentioned in the pregame show. 6 foot, 185-pound receiver over there, senior. They will utilize him just a bit, but you're going to see more of the play-action pass and the running backs positions that they use over there, as well as the tight end, who can be Hayden Thompson.
2nd down and 10, 8:07 left opening quarter, no score. Again, Creekview marching at the Sequoyah 34. Rhodes with the shotgun snap. On the ground to Stevens again. This time he tries the left side and picks up a yard or 2 there off the block of Sam Hartley, the senior. And the Sequoyah defense pressuring in there. Looked like number 55, Harrison Hood, leading the charge. And Art, again, it looks like Creekview's identified maybe some areas of the Sequoyah defense they want to try to target.
Yeah, they have. They obviously they want to establish that run game, but Brody Rhodes 3 for 3 on passes so far this drive, and he's got some receivers running open, and perhaps a touchdown that might have been missed, just a little bit overthrown. So it looks like they've fix whatever ailments they had in the bye week.
Big third down right here, though, 3rd and 8. And once again, Stevens out of the backfield, lines up wide, and Rhodes rolls right, now throws back into the middle of the field, and that ball is going to be intercepted at the goal line. Wow, how about that? Matthew Traynor in the back end.
Matthew Traynor listed as the starting quarterback, also playing free safety. But, guys, I don't know how you don't call pass interference.
Yeah, looks like Matthew got his hands extended a little bit right in front of the referee. He might not have saw it. Might have been incidental contact. You never know what these officials see down there on the field level. But nevertheless, man, once again, the troubles once Creekview, I spoke too soon. Creekview's troubles continue once they get close to that red zone.
And that's Rhodes' 4th interception of the year.
So a big play in the back end of that Sequoyah defense. They bend, but they don't break, and now they'll take over offensively for the first time tonight with 7:17 left here in the opening quarter, but they got to go a long way. They're going to say that Traynor made the interception just outside of the end zone, so the ball placed on the 1-yard line, and Sequoyah's offense with their backs against the wall here to start. And let's say what they do here. Again, that I believe that is Traynor.
It is.
Under center. So he makes the interception, comes right back out to lead this offense. They'll send a guy in motion, and now they'll have to call a timeout. The play clock was winding down here, and I believe they did get the timeout. So they call a timeout here before the false start. There was a little bit of movement up there. They brought Dion Roll, the senior, across the formation, and they had to call a timeout. So, guys, here we are. You know, Creekview takes the opening drive. They eat up 4 or 5 minutes of clock, and then they take the deep shot downfield on 3rd down and 8, and the Sequoyah defense makes a play.
Yeah, they do. And looking ahead to this Sequoyah team moving left to right, Marshall Catchum at left tackle, junior 6'3", 260, the biggest guy on this line. Carson Rowland, the left guard, senior 5'9", 200 pounds, a little undersized for an offensive lineman, but makes things work. Center Logan Webster, the junior 6 foot, 215 pounds. Right guard Braden Miller, the senior 6 foot, 215 as well. And the right tackle Joseph Jorzak, senior 6'3", 250. So a lot of experience on this line.
If there was any, this is almost like a punt, right? And you want to force a run team to go 99 yards. You've got them. I think this is the next best thing Coach Williams could have asked for if he was going to pin this team deep.
Sequoyah averaging just under 19 points a ball game so far offensively on the year as they go to work. Traynor hands it off on the ground. Jaden Mitchell, the back, and that ball, well, it's trying to squirt through a hole right there, and eventually picked up about 4 yards there. It looked like the ball was loose for a minute the way everyone was reacting, but Sequoyah able to hang on to that one right there. They only pick up about 2 or 3, though. We'll call it 2nd and a long 7.
Yeah, and exactly to Art's point, I mean, this is exactly where you want them because now they're really going to try and keep it in the middle of the field. They're really going to try and push everybody forward. Don't want to give up the safety. Creekview's got quite a few of those coming into this game, so you really want to keep the ball out of the end zone and not your own.
Joseph Silva, number 22, a wing back, lines up over on the right side this time. Mitchell again in the backfield. Traynor under center, and they hand it to Mitchell once again this time over the right side. Picks up a couple, and that's the Creekview defense with the big stop right there, holding them short, forcing a 3rd down and about 6 right here. And again, it's one of those offenses that, as they say, it's like Novocaine. Give it time. It works. But against this Creekview defense, it's certainly a tough challenge here tonight for a Sequoyah team that has time, as you said, Art, has moved the football well this time. At certain times this year, they just haven't been able to score a lot.
Well, we'll see what Coach Teeter has dialed up here on 3rd and 6. He said he doesn't like these situations that wing tee, so maybe they'll let Traynor throw the ball a little bit right here.
Wing tee look once again. Sequoyah in the traditional Michigan Wolverine hat with the battle gray jerseys here tonight, the black pants. A little play action pass out in the flat. 1st down, it looks like, as Roll makes the grab there. Aiden Moore comes out of the backfield and makes the grab there for the 1st down. Play action pass right there, and Traynor put it on the money. Creekview had pretty good coverage there, but Moore able to secure the grab, take it upfield, and dive across the 1st down marker.
Yeah, really good pitch and catch over there from Matthew Traynor, doing a really good job. Art called it exactly right. I mean, look, Matthew Traynor has been the guy that can make this offense work when you have to pass it. And a really good design over there as well. Fake the handoff, roll it out to the left-hand side. Every passing attempt that you're going to make out of the wing tee is going to be off of a play action.
Yeah, we saw that early in the year. You're right, against Cherokee. Again, seeing Sequoyah early in the year at Tommy Baker, and surprised a lot of folks, particularly in the first half of that ball game. So here's 1st down and 10. Sequoyah operates just outside their own 10-yard line. This time running to the left. That's Jaden Mitchell again, the senior 6 foot 195 pounder. Will pick up a few yards as he takes it up across the 15 Second down and about 6 upcoming as we near the 5-minute mark already here, guys, in this opening quarter.
Yeah, he comes into this game with 63 carries, 337 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Jaden. And he was really one of the big guys that was around after Miles McGee left last year, and then a couple of years ago. You saw the talent kind of dip off here at Sequoyah, but he's really helped this team this year and really been the workhorse for them.
Mitchell again in the backfield. 2nd and 7. This time they'll hand it to the wing back around. That's Aiden Moore. Picks up a yard or 2. Not much there, though, at all. The Sequoyah offense averaging 228 yards a game, but 151 of that on the ground, as you would expect in this wing tee look. And it really hasn't changed a lot over the years. Now, you may say it's the same kind of play over and over again, but it's maybe blocked totally different. That's what a lot of folks don't realize. That offensive line, those guys are pulling, trapping, doing a lot of different things in there. So even though it may look like the same play, defensively you got to have your head on a swivel. So here is 3rd down and 3 after a gain of a couple. Big play for the Sequoyah offense, big play for the Creekview defense. Trainer under center. Moore in motion, and they're looking to throw the football right here, and Trainer is under pressure. He'll go down back at the 14. Big rush that time by Creekview, who had 11 sacks 2 weeks ago in that game against Cambridge, and they have their first one here of the night.
Yeah, Saminosi came in and got that sack right there. That's his 5th sack of the year. Came in with 4 into this game. My goodness. I mean, you look all over this Creekview defense. You got him with 4 sacks. Isaac Hubert with 4.5 sacks. And the leader of all of Cherokee County over there, Grant Anderson, with 6 sacks.
So big rush that time. They brought pressure. And now the Chiefs will have to punt it away. Zarita kicks this one in. It's carrying out to about the 45, and they're going to return it. No fair catch signal there. Watch out, far sideline. The Grizzlies have a chance out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. What a return that time. Wow. Well, he got that ball real high, and Sequoyah was standing there in coverage as if a fair catch signal had been made, but it had not.
Almost looked like the Atlanta Falcons covering an onside kick there for a minute, and Creekview takes advantage and great field position to start this drive.
Yeah, exactly right. And if you can't make it work on offense, make it work in the special teams, as our good friend Larry Prather would say, the professor. Special teams are going to have to be special in this one.
I believe that was Dawson Curry that
correct
had that one.
Yep, you got it.
So sometimes the numbers are hard to see here because you are a little bit more field level here from our vantage points. We'll do our best to keep up with it. But what a big return, sets up 1st and goal. And here's Tyler Stevens on the ground, breaks the tackle, slices inside the 5. And down at about the 3-yard line goes Tyler Stevens. And for the first time tonight, either one of these teams has their best scoring opportunity as we hit the 3-minute mark here in the opening quarter.
We kind of figured this game was going to go pretty quick. You've got 2 running teams, and you've got really good defenses on both sides. As long as they can keep the ball from being turned over, then you would expect the clock to run pretty fast. So if this game goes by quickly to y'all, it's going by quickly to us as well.
141 yards rushing for Creekview 2 weeks ago against Cambridge. Cherokee already up 13-0 in that ball game against Woodstock. Here's Tyler Stevens into the middle and into the end zone, touchdown. And so just like that, after the long punt return, Sequoyah kicking out of their own end there. The big return by Dawson Curry sets up 1st and goal. And Tyler Stevens, 2 plays later, punches it in from 3 yards out. And with 2:33 to play here in the opening quarter, Creekview draws first blood in this 13th meeting all time between the two. 6-0 pending this PAT from Ty Hubert here. I believe that's 47. Andy Moncada. And Moncada knocks it through there. So 7-0. We'll take a 30-second break and be back with more. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week here on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
And we welcome you back here to Skip Pope Memorial Stadium, again on the campus of Sequoyah High School. 7-0. Creekview leads it over Sequoyah. And as we talked about, the 13th meeting all time between these two. The Grizzlies lead it 9-3. And now they will kick it off from right to left. And here we go. It's about to put their foot into it right here. I believe that's, so is that, that's McNeil,
Chase
47?
McNeil, correct.
Yep. A little pooch kick right here. And they're going to let it bounce. It'll be picked up over on the near side by Miles Crandall, the senior, who tries to break it back into the middle of the field. And he tries to bring it back, does so to about the 24-yard line, just shy of the 25. Little pooch kick right there, trying to maybe catch something off guard there and trying to make this Sequoyah team, just like in baseball, you got to make the other team field the ball, right? You got to put it in play, and that's exactly what the Grizzlies did there on that kickoff.
Well, pardon the interruption there. We were trying to find out who the kicker was. It's listed as Ty Hubert, who comes into this one 5 for 7 on extra points and 1 for 1 at the field goal, but it definitely is not him. Chase McNeil coming into this one and attempting number 47, a sophomore.
So the Chiefs back to work there. Again, Matthew Trainers, we talked about the quarterback. Man in motion around the other side there. Trainers got some room. Faked the handoff, kept into the middle. And in the back end there, that was Hayden Thompson trying to rip that ball loose, but Trainer held on to it for a big gain. And let's see here. Well, it looks like we may have had a penalty. Yep.
Illegal formation.
Yeah, legal formation on Sequoyah. So, unfortunately for the Chiefs, that one coming back. Again, a gain of 15 negated.
That's a rough one right there. As we mentioned, with these teams, you cannot get behind the line. And with these guys, you really can't, because now you're set up for 1st and 15, which isn't the worst for a normal style of offense, but it's really, really rough against a team that is really fighting for those 3 or 4 yards on every single play. So not only do you erase the 15-yard gain, but now you're also backed up by 5 yards. And as Art mentioned, they're going to be the disciplined team coming into this one, and already not looking good for the Chiefs.
So behind the chains, we saw Creekview on their opening drive. They overcame a penalty to pick up a first down. Of course, the opening drive, though, with an interception, and that ball popped loose. They hand it off, and it's on the ground, and they say Creekview's got it. So a little mis-exchange there between Trainer and it looked like Jaden Mitchell. Somehow or another, that ball ended up on the ground. One of the Grizzlies may have got a hand in there and punched that ball out. And it's Creekview ball at the Sequoyah 15. So all of a sudden, the last couple of minutes, the wheels have fallen off a little bit for the Chiefs here in this opening quarter.
Yeah, the wing tee, I mean, listen, you specialize in one thing, and you really have to be a specialist in it. It's not one of those things you can pick up and learn overnight. It takes lots of years. And Coach Teeter's been doing this for a long time, and he's got a sophomore quarterback in there trying to learn the system. And really the only veteran on that side of the ball is Jaden Mitchell, Aiden Moore for a little bit as well, and Joseph Silva. But relying on Trainer there, and a little bit of a misdirection play just went wrong, and the Grizzlies are already back in the red zone.
So Rhodes and that offense go back to work. And a little end-around pass play into the end zone, man. Wide open, touchdown.
A.J. Vaccaro.
Wow. That pass thrown by Dawson Curry, the senior, on an end-around play. They handed it to him around the right side, and then he pulled up and threw the football to Vaccaro as he was coming across the back of the end zone over on the far side from our position. And just like that, the Grizzlies have found some offense here in this football game.
Well, if there is any Creekview fan that comes to me and complains about the offense this week, I don't know what to tell them. Coach Williams pulling out all the stops.
That extra point is up and good, making the score 14-0 on our Sutherland Nissan scoreboard update.
Yep, there you go. 1:48 left here in the opening quarter. We'll keep the action right here, guys. And, all right, your impression so far of what you've seen. I mean, I know we coming in, as we talked about, Creekview only averaging 14.5. Well, they're basically there right now here in this opening quarter against a pretty good Sequoyah defense. But opening up the playbook here, showing a lot of creativity, particularly on that last score.
It was a lot of creativity. And look, giving up 14 points, but both scores on very short fields. That's tough for just about any defense to do week in and week out. So Sequoyah is going to have to find a way to move the ball. We talked about explosive plays early. They had one, got called back for a penalty. Next play, it's a turnover, turns into a quick score for Creekview. So Sequoyah has got to get a sustained drive, at least, if nothing else, to get that defense some rest over there.
Absolutely. So the Grizzlies getting set to kick this one off again. Still a little under 2 minutes left here in this opening quarter, and now Sequoyah has gotten behind things here a little bit. As Cherokee, I believe, still leads 13-0. Etowah scoreless after a quarter.
Riverwood up on River Ridge 7-0 early.
Probably going to be a good ball game. I anticipate that one going back and forth. Here's McNeil. This one a low liner. This one caught by a lineman on that front row.
Wow.
And he just promptly goes right down at the 40. And how about the hands there by Jimmy Anderson, the sophomore, who was able to catch that one on a fly.
I wish you could have seen it because he was turned around getting ready to run back to find his mark to set the block. And as he turned around, he just happened to have his hands out, and the football ended up there.
I can tell you a lot of stories about Jimmy Anderson. Also played freshman basketball for Sequoyah last year. One of the greatest kids you'll ever meet. They're making a great play, preventing another near disaster for Sequoyah.
He looked like Austin Riley over at third base, snagging that one.
What a plug.
Here we go. First down and 10 for Sequoyah. They got good field position. I'm not sure that McNeil meant to hit that ball as a liner. That should have been more of a squib into the middle of the field there, but great hands there by the big offensive lineman. So Jaden Mitchell with the handoff left side, but going nowhere. Taken down 2 yards deep in the backfield at around the 36. And a loss of 2 yards there brings up second down and 12 upcoming.
Yeah, for Sequoyah, it's hard because there's no other option for you. You're going to have to find something to work in the system. If the formation doesn't work, there's no other formation you can go to. It's find the answer in what you have. So it's really kind of a game of attrition for them. And hopefully throughout the duration of this one, they can wear that Creekview defense down, but it hasn't happened so far.
Man in motion, play action pass. Trainer back to the right, throwing long. He's got a man there one-on-one, knocked away. Down at the 20-yard line, a flag comes flying in. There's 2 flags in, though. One back at the line of scrimmage looked like a hold, but then maybe a pass interference call back on the other end. So these may be offsetting penalties right here. And this crew's going to have to get together and sort things out.
Poor Dion Roll out there. He rolled out to be the release man on that one just as a 2-yard option for Trainer. And as he's running out, somebody's got his arms wrapped around him, dragging him down from behind. He throws his hands up. So good call on that end. But also on the other end, there was it was a contested play. It was really kind of a tough call, but it'll be called on both of them against Creekview, I believe.
Yeah, offsetting penalties are reduced. Sequoiah's, they've had 3 losses this year by a possession or less, and I know, Art, you've talked about this rivalry and how it's average margin of victories, within a possession, 8 points basically. And just says a lot about the Sequoyah team. They just got to learn how to close things out. They've had a lot of close losses this year. 2 weeks ago, 14-10 against Johns Creek. And they got to close the gap here tonight, though.
Amir had a 70-yard touchdown run, so it's 7-7 over there, so it happened.
Just on cue, right? It's just almost automatic every week.
He's ridiculous.
So after the offsetting penalties, it's still second down and 12. They got third down on the board here, but the marker on the field says second, which should be correct. Man in motion once again. That's Silva across the formation. They'll keep it on the ground right here, left side, plenty of room. A far sideline, and finally shoved out of bounds across midfield at the Grizzly 45. Goes Sequoyah, and they've got the first down, a gain of 17, as they just kept around the corner over there. I believe that's Trainer that just kept it.
Yeah, you got it. Matthew Trainer's really the great equalizer for the Sequoyah team. He's got enough talent to make other things happen, and it's very rare that Sequoyah has a running back who can run the ball like Trainer can. So that's why you see him. Remember, he also had the interception in the first quarter. So it's really interesting to see how he plays both sides of the ball, but he's a great athlete.
And this one right into the middle, Jade Mitchell, a couple yards straight ahead as the Sequoyah team goes into Creekview territory for the first time tonight. And we go inside 30 seconds here. They may get one more snap off, although they don't have to. The play clock at 33, and it has stopped. They've turned it off, basically. Now let's see if Sequoyah, again, tries to get another snap off or if they'll let this quarter run out. It looks like they're just going to let the time go.
Yeah, so Sequoyah is one of those old-fashioned teams that actually runs to the sideline. Coach Teeter grabs the quarterback, gives him the play call, and then they actually line up at the line. So very old-style football for Sequoyah.
And that's it for the opening quarter. A good opening quarter for the Grizzlies. They lead at 14-0 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. We'll take a 30-second timeout and be back with quarter 2 from Skip Pope Memorial Stadium. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM, WLJA.
Not every road is worthy of a postcard, but don't tell that to the new Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires. Where you see 8 hours of road trip torment with stop-and-go traffic, the Michelin Cross Climate 2 with a 60,000-mile warranty sees a sun-filled family safe drive.
The Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire is safer for longer than leading competitors. Discover more at Michelin.com.
Turn to the experts and get a premium tire with premium service. Only at Canton Tire and Wheel in Canton.
Based on resistance to gravel and severe wear testing, compared to Michelin LTX MS, the 70,000-mile warranty only applies to E-metric sizes.
You're listening to WLJA FM 101.1 and WLJA HD1 Ellijay, Jasper, Canton, Woodstock, and all of North Georgia.
14-0 our score here. Creekview leads Sequoyah after a quarter as we get set for the start of quarter number 2. And Will Cooper, he's pretty giddy right now. He's got a good score update
Not
over
giddy. There. I just think it's funny. Gilmer 21, Lumpkin nothing.
Hey, we call it in the pregame.
Man,
nothing funny about it. Nothing funny about it, buddy.
Nah, I just thought it. I tell you,
everybody knows you're a big Gilmer fan.
I like Gilmer, I do, and Coach Saunders is really good to me.
You got a purple shirt on under there. We
I
know
appreciate
that.
it.
We got that.
It's actually white.
2nd down and 8 right here after a gain of 2 on the to end the first quarter, and straight ahead to Jaden Mitchell. Once again, he picks up about 3 more, but it will be 3rd down and 5 against Sequoyah with the football trailing by 14. They have it at the Creekview 39, just inside the 40. And got a long 4 yards here to go on this 3rd down play. Meanwhile, Creekview with 2 touchdowns in that opening quarter, back-to-back, basically within a minute or so of each other. One set up by a long punt return. And, of course, a turnover led to another one. And 14-0 with a pair of extra points. And now the Chiefs trying to cut that lead in half. And this one going nowhere. Straight ahead, but Jaden Mitchell, again, the 6', 195-pound senior, wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage by several Grizzlies in there. Looked like maybe number 55, Sam Menozzi, the senior, one of the guys lead the charge. And now it'll be 4th down. He did pick up about a yard, 4th down and 3. And Coach Teeter, I think he thought about it there for a moment, but they are bringing the punt team in. But, boy, if I'm Creekview, I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah, so Creekview on that last quarter, 13 plays, 6 of them rushed for 16 yards, 3 of 4 passing for 69 yards. So good news for Grizzly fans. 5:40 time possession. Sequoyah 12 plays, 8 rushed, 23 yards, 1 of 1 passing, 8 yards for that pass, and 6 minutes and 20 seconds of possession.
Oh, a one hopper, but Zarita handles it, kicks it short, though, off the side of his foot to the right side. Takes a big Sequoyah bounce at the 20 and will roll down to around the 11 or 12 before it gets out of bounds there again. Zarita averaging over 38.5 yards a punt. That one's going to be a little bit shorter than that, though. They were trying to coffin corner it anyway, and it turned out with the roll to not be too bad of a punt, but that could have been disastrous.
Yeah, really good job by Zarita to field that one cleanly and get it up, and also a good job by the backs up for him, providing blocks and allowing him to get that kickoff. So good job all around by the special teams. You know, obviously when you're down in a game, you really want to try and keep the mistakes to a minimum, and it's really, really fortunate for the Chiefs they were able to get that one done.
Got a score update for you guys over at Eagle Mountain at Etowah. They are down 7-0, 10:49 left in the second. Roswell up on the Etowah Eagles.
Coach Matt Kemper against his former team tonight down in Woodstock. So 10:34 to play here in the first half. Creekview goes back to work with a 14-point lead. Brody Rhodes scrambling right all the way. Had nowhere to go with that one, though. He cut back in, but there were several Chiefs there in the area to bring him down, and I believe
Jonah
Haney, number 5, I think was the first guy there. You're right, drug him down a yard or 2 behind the line, I believe.
Also interesting to see Matthew Traynor out there playing free safety once again, so he will be playing both ways in this game.
Almost looks like a single A team. You know, you
got
players going both ways.
That's old school football right there. Well, you got to put your athletes on the field, you know, and I think that Coach Teeter realizes it's kind of hard to keep a guy like Traynor off the field, you know.
You see it a lot with Cherokee and Keith Adams Jr. being utilized at the running back and defensive end position as well. Creekview does the same with Hayden Thompson. You'll see him at linebacker as well as tight end.
And this time they load up, got quads over to one side. They'll throw back to the other way, though, and a receiver, man, there complete. That's Chase Wright, the senior, who makes the grab on a slant pattern. They had 3 or 4 guys lined up to the other side in a bunch formation, and they had Wright all alone back to the near side, and they threw a slant to him to pick up some of that yardage and create a 3rd and 1.
Good old slant boy over there. 5'11", 185-pound senior. Only had 2 receptions coming into this one for 14 yards, so good idea there. Clivert Minnie takes one to the house. So, man. Or no, excuse me, 60-yard. Yeah, okay. Yeah, up to the 20 with a late hit penalty. They're on the 6 driving.
A lot of action going around the county tonight. Creekview with a hard count right there. Rhodes called it, and I believe they got the Chiefs to jump. So a free 5 against Sequoyah will give the Grizzlies a first down. And the ball will be placed at the 25-yard line. 9:07 to play opening quarter. 14-0 Creekview leads Sequoyah on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. And a nice cool night, but the breeze has died down, so it feels good out here. I mean, for this time of year, it's a perfect night for high school football. Brody Rhodes going to throw a quick hitter this time. Far sideline, complete. And up the field goes Curry for a substantial gain, about 8-9 yards shy of the first down by just a yard or so, but a great pickup on first down. And when you're second in a yard, you can really open up that playbook.
And they're really utilizing this middle to short-range passing game that Art mentioned they should in the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta pregame show. All different kinds of guys. Chase Wright, Tristan Summers, Dawson Curry, A.J. Vaccaro, Tyler Stevens, Hayden Thompson have all got involved in this one.
Rhodes out of the gun this time, straight ahead. Tyler Stevens trying to break through a hole, but he won't get there, though. Good tackle up there by the Chiefs. They only needed a yard, though. It was 2nd and 1, and I believe he fell forward for the first down. Big hit right there, though, by Silva. He came shooting through there, and it was a stalemate, but Stevens just fell forward just enough to pick up a Grizzly first down.
Yeah, Silva and Blackman are the leaders of this team. Silva, the senior linebacker, 6 foot, 200 pounds, coming into this one with 30 tackles and 5 tackles for loss. So he's going to be the quarterback of the defense, and then Jack Blackman, the senior 6 foot, 190 pound strong safety with an interception. He's the quarterback of the secondary.
Almost halfway through the second quarter already. We're just a little over 30 minutes into this game. 7:56 on the board. Rhodes play action, rolling near side, fires back across the middle, complete up at the 45 to a sliding A.J. Vaccaro, the junior, with his second catch of this first half. And this one good for about 9 yards, and it sets up another 2nd and 1.
Creekview utilizes their talent where they have it, and they use it a lot in the backfield, and that's what you see a lot as Tristan Summers checks back into the game for the Grizzlies. But I think you see a lot of that with this Grizzly team is that they have guys that do things well, and they're well coached, and that's what they're doing right now is utilizing what they have and the guys that they know that they can give the ball to, and they're safe.
Rhodes now well over 600 yards passing on the season. Came in just a 45% passer, but he has been much better than that here in this ball game so far. He's up closer to 70-80% so far. This time, that one had to be thrown away. They're big pressure from behind that time by Silva as he gets to Rhodes right as his arm was going forward. And that ball falls harmlessly incomplete over here in the near flat, but one of the Sequoyah Chiefs jumped the route, almost got his hands on it.
Ben Sanders there on the stop, sophomore 6 foot, 160 pound cornerback.
They've been going after Sanders a little bit here, but he's stepped up. He's made a couple nice plays in the back end of that Sequoyah defense.
That much he has.
So Grizzlies up to the line. On 2nd and 1, you can take a shot like that. It's incomplete, though, but 3rd down and 1, and now if you're Creekview, you want to get the first down. Full house backfield this time. They got everybody back there, and they'll hand it to the first guy through, the fullback, and dragging some folks with them over the left side there. And a first down up to the midfield stripe and a yard into Sequoyah territory at the 49. And that's a gain of 7 yards and a Creekview first down as they continue to move those chains.
Keep moving those chains, and I tell you, it's happening on both sides of the ball. They're having a really good success now running the football, which they were struggling with in the first quarter, so seeing that turn around for this one. As we mentioned, a wing T team, you're really going to try and run everybody down and try and struggle them out, but it might be the Creekview team that's trying to wear down the Sequoyah defense, and they've been out there for a long time, not only on this drive, but in the game.
Isaiah Sanders, defensive end for Sequoyah on the near side over here, but they'll run away from him. Brody Rhodes, keeper all the way. Far sideline takes a big shot right up against the Sequoyah sideline after a gain of a yard or two. And that's it for that one.
Jack Blackman on the hit there. As we mentioned, the leader of that secondary, he came up and laid the wood against Brody Rhodes. So two really good, talented seniors coming up and meeting each other at just close to the middle field stripe. Ball placed about the 47-yard line. So a kind of a meeting of two different ends.
Now, 7 meetings between these two have been decided by a possession or less. 2 double overtime games, as Art, of course, said in the pregame here tonight. And they have certainly tangled for some very memorable moments and memorable games in the 13-year history of this rivalry that dates back to 2008, and they've played every year since then. Quick toss right here, in and out of the hands. That passed just a little bit forward there. Once again, pressure from the backside there. Rhodes had to get rid of that ball a little bit quicker than he wanted to. And I tell you what, man, Joseph Silva has been all over the field defensively for Sequoyah here in this first half.
Joseph Silva comes in as a leading tackler for the Sequoyah Chiefs. Coach Teeter talked about him in the podcast earlier this week about how excited he was to have an entire defense together this week.
For really the first time all year.
First time season, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. These guys, all 11 defensive starters finally playing together this year. They've had kids that have been out for different reasons or what have you, but everyone back for the Sequoyah defense. Here's 3rd down and 8 for Creekview from the Sequoyah 47. Quick toss right here underneath, trying to break a tackle, but a good open field tackle right there by the Chiefs. They got that ball over to Tyler Stevens out of the backfield, but a good open field tackle by Sequoyah leaves Creekview about 2 or 3 yards shy of a first down at the 42. Will they go for it right here, or will they punt it away?
They'll go for it. They should.
And they'll break the huddle with the offense on the field. Tyler Stevens will line up at the slot to the far side with an empty backfield. Brody Rhodes 3 yards deep out of the gun. It's a short snap here, hard count. trying to get the Chiefs to come off sides. They won't. Now they look over to the sideline, and the play comes in. Play clock down to 7. Brody Rhodes, he'll take the snap. Step up, under pressure, escapes one tackle. He'll run for it. He's got the first down and more inside the 30, inside the 20, inside the 10, and down to the 5-yard line goes Brody Rhodes, who can beat you in so many ways. That time he did it with his legs.
Really a guy that can do it all right there. I mean, had him all but wrapped up in the backfield, over pursuit by the defensive end, came around. It was a corner blitz, and then got around the outside, and it was just nothing but green grass for the young man. Made a couple people miss and got real close to putting that one in the end zone.
Almost came up with another rushing touchdown as Creekview again inside the Sutherland Nissan red zone now for the second time tonight. And this ball will be placed right at the 7. Rhodes 3 yards deep out of the gun. Tyler Stevens about 2 yards behind him, and Rhodes will fake it to him. He will keep it, but he'll be drugged down at the 5, and that's a good open field tackle there. And, boy, he was putting that ball out there like Shady McCoy.
That loaf of bread out there, as the old-timers would say. Hey, look, most of Brody's offensive success, and what I've observed, has been rolling to his right, coming to his strong side, even in the passing game and in the run. So don't know if they want to go away to that strong side too many times.
And if that's something for Sequoyah they can adjust to, right? I mean, if that's what you're going to do, line up an extra linebacker on that side and make them force it to go the other way. The only issue with that is you have to stop the run, of course, because they can run it to the counter on the outside of that.
Press coverage, twins to the near side, ball right in the middle of the field. Same formation, though. Now they'll move Thompson over from right to left. Stevens the lone back, and this time they will hand it to him. Left side now going back into the middle, and he will fall across the goal line and into the end zone. Touchdown. Didn't need a lot and got just what he needed.
Second rushing touchdown of the night for Tyler Stevens. He's a load to get down, and once he gets those legs churning, he's always falling forward, and that time it paid dividends as he finds his way to the end zone.
He doesn't look that big, but 6'1", 210 is a load to bring down.
4th rushing touchdown of the year for Tyler Stevens, and now the Grizzlies will look to add the PAT with 3:40 left here in this first half. A low liner, and that one is right through the left upright. So with 3:40 to play here before the Foundation Financial halftime show, the score is 21-0 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
Welcome to Perk Up. What can I get you?
Can I have a large, skinny, non-fat macchiato with
My 15-year-old has the taste buds of a middle-aged woman, but she's no adult. That's why we took her to Children's for her scoliosis. Their pediatric orthopedic program is nationally ranked. Their specialists understand growing bones and how to treat them. My kid ordering an adult-style coffee? Okay. Going to an adult doctor? Not so much.
Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Orthopedics. Where you take them matters. Learn more at choa.org/ortho.
Well, we are just 3 minutes and 40 seconds away from the Foundation Financial halftime show. The Gold Boy, Will Cooper, and Art Mosley will have that one for you here as we recap this very quick first half. Again, we're not even 45 minutes of time-wise into this ball game, and we're already flirting with halftime. And it's been all Creekview here. The 2 scores in the first quarter, complemented by one just now from Tyler Stevens, his second rushing touchdown of the night. This one from 5 yards out. And the PAT's perfect tonight, makes it 21-0 as the Grizzlies get set to boot it away to Sequoyah once again. The Chiefs desperately needing to find some offense here. Fair catch signal. It's a pooch kick. At the 25, it's taken and made that time by Aiden Moore, the junior. And that's where Sequoyah will set up shop. So, guys, the Chiefs got the work cut out for them. You know they'd love to use this 3:40 and the timeouts they have here to try to go down and put one in before halftime.
Yeah, that last drive from Creekview, 15 plays, 89 yards, 54 of it on the ground, 35 passing, and took off 6 minutes and 54 seconds off of the clock. So a really good drive for the Grizzlies there after a struggling offensive performance. But, yeah, Sequoyah's got to get something rolling here. They're going to have something to build on going into the half.
Logan Webster, the center, leads them up to the line here. Sequoyah again to wing T look. And they got a receiver wide to the near side as well. Jaden Mitchell, the fullback. And a little hard count right there, trying to draw the Grizzlies off sides. They'll have none of it. Aiden Moore started in, now goes back out, and the Chiefs will reset with 5 seconds here on the play clock. And straight ahead, Jaden's got some room this time. He takes it up across the 30, and a good gain there on the quick hitter on first down. Picks up about 8 yards. Mitchell with a positive run there, setting up a second and short.
Yeah, good tackle from behind by Cole Hasty coming up with that one. 13 tackles coming into this one. The 5'11", 195-pound senior for the Grizzlies. And did a good job keeping it just short of the chains. Never take anything for granted. So good bit of positive yardage on first down, though. If you're a wing T team, that's what you're looking for.
Jade Mitchell came in, as you guys mentioned, 337 yards rushing, over 5 a tote. Aiden Moore, 184 yards, almost 7 yards per touch as well. And Trainer this time play action, looking to throw the ball, rolling right, under pressure, slides one tackle, makes another man miss, but he loses the ball. It's on the ground back at the 26, and it looks like it is Grizzly ball. And the second turnover for Sequoyah here in this first half sets up Creekview once again with really good field position here inside the Sequoyah 30-yard line.
And Cole Hasty up with the fumble recovery on that one. So mention his name, Squeaky Wheel gets the grease, and he got it that time. So Creekview now looking to pour it on here as they head into the locker room. 3 minutes left to go in this first half.
As they should. Matthew Trainer trying to do a little bit too much on that play. Kind of got bottled up. Maybe should have thrown that ball away, tucked it away. He was carrying it. Once again, like a loaf of bread, and that one got out.
And, you know, when you look at it right now, again, Creekview with another short field in a situation right here where, again, they have made Sequoyah pay in the Chiefs' defense as well as they've played this year. They just have their backs to the wall. You can only ask your defense to make so many stops, you know, especially with those turnovers in a short field.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see Connor Gillette try out at quarterback a couple times.
And so here's Brody Rhodes. This is keeper all the way back in the middle of the field. Reverses his field, drugged down at the 15. But a big gain right there by this Creekview offense once again. And that was a gain of about 10.5 yards there, and good enough for a Grizzly first down.
Yeah, man, I tell you, if you can get Rhodes working both ways and get him efficiently running the football, you're in trouble. Good tackle from behind there by Kamar Plummer coming up, the 5'10", 200-pound junior. Only had 2 tackles coming into this game, so inexperienced over there at a linebacking position, but did a good job coming up and making the tackle.
Couple of scores for you updated. Cherokee up 20-7 over Woodstock, and then Clivert Manny with a 5-yard touchdown run's got Etowah tied up with Roswell. 4:48 left in the second quarter over there at Etowah.
And the way Etowah struggled, I'm not sure there's a lot of folks outside of Cherokee County that thought that that would be the case. Here's Brody Rhodes rolling right now under pressure, looking to throw the football. Will just throw it away as he throws down towards the goal line, but out of bounds over here on the near sideline. Everyone covered up. Good coverage by the Chiefs there downfield.
Another score update. Gilmer up over Lumpkin County 35-0.
Bobcats pouring it on over there at Gilmer.
Pickens County up 14-0 over Cedartown right now.
That's a score that kind of really shocked us. We didn't think they had much of a shot coming in this game, but they're getting it done with striker at quarterback.
Pickens coming off the bye week with an extra week to prepare there perhaps, and taking it to Cedartown early. So here it's 21-0. Creekview leads Sequoyah. Plenty of time to go in this ball game right here, but the Grizzlies knocking on the door again. If you're the Chiefs, you nothing else want to try to hold them to 3 here with 2:06 before the half.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order with the way things have been working against them so far, but play clock winding down, they have to call a timeout on this one.
Yep, and indeed they will. I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. Of course, a lot of games going on around the area tonight, as you guys have talked about, and that's one thing we do want to do is kind of keep you guys listening, in tune with what else is going on here. And just a programming note that after we do go off the air tonight, we will join the Braves coverage in progress of Game 5 tonight. And perhaps an opportunity for the Braves to, dare I say, close it out. But again, just for you folks out there listening, that's what we're going to do tonight after our Sosby Funeral Home post-game show. We're going to do it quick and get it to the Braves coverage so you guys can hear it. First pitch, of course, not till 9:08. And who knows the way this ball game's going? We might be about done with this one before the Braves throw out the first pitch.
That's what I was about to say. Is that we were planning to get you back into the game probably about the 3rd or 4th inning over there. A.J. Mentor got the start from them. So by the time we get it to you, he'll probably be out of the game, but you never know. But, yeah, I'm telling you, very surprised so far with the Braves organization, how well they've handled this postseason. So we're really proud of them, of course, being the Atlanta Braves radio network. And then tomorrow, don't forget, UGA in a primetime football game against the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Pregame show at 4 o'clock, kickoff at 8 o'clock for that one.
So after the timeout, Creekview with the football. Again, Rhodes this time will move under center. Power I formation. They'll hand it to the fullback over the left side, driven backwards, though, by a host of Chiefs. Sequoiah's defense tightens here as we hit the 2-minute mark here in this first half. And winding down here again, both teams with 2 timeouts left here, I believe, in this first half. And, it might be a situation where Creekview not really time a factor right now, especially where the football's at. Sequoyah, they may think about burning one at some point just to keep some time on the clock, so they'll have time to go down and strike perhaps.
Well, now if you're Sequoyah, you think about the different situation that you had, because it was 21-0. You had the football, and you were thinking, all right, if we can get some points on the board, that'll be a plus. If you stop them here and keep them to a field goal, that's a plus. So the narrative has changed for you. It doesn't really make it any worse, but, just something to keep an eye on.
Brody Rhodes out of the backfield, throws one low. It is complete. Not a lot there, though. It was 3rd down and 9. They find Hayden Thompson on a short one there. Maybe a yard or two is all, though, and just a low throw there, so Thompson unable to keep his feet and turn it upfield. And it will be 4th down. It does look like the Sequoyah defense has held as the Grizzlies line up for a chip shot field goal here. And again, with 2 timeouts and a minute left, looks like they're going to let it run down here, but I was thinking they might call a timeout right there to save some clock.
Well, even if Creekview makes this field goal here, they're about to attempt. It's still a three-possession game, so maybe that's the thought by Coach Teeter.
They're going to put it down 23. It's a 33-yard field goal, and that ball is through there. Wow. Chase McNeil knocking it through for the Creekview Grizzlies from 34 yards out. And that makes the score 24-0 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard with just 43 ticks on the clock here before halftime.
I'm a little surprised I'm with you guys. Surprised they didn't call one of those timeouts right there. Now, listen, they didn't burn off all the clock they could have. They kicked it with about 20 seconds left. So a little bit of a miscommunication by the Grizzlies over there. I'm sure they would rather have taken the time out of the game. But once again, a wing T team having 43 seconds, they're going to have to spread things out and try a few shotgun passes. You're not going to see them line up in the wing T on this one.
Yeah, it's just a tough task for a wing T team with 43 seconds. That is historically not going to throw that ball down the field. Another score update, Riverwood cashing in on a 99-yard interception return. They lead Riverwood leads River Ridge 14-7.
The Battle of the Rivers.
Yep. Big ball game next week. We'll talk about it a little bit later on tonight. Don't want to look too far ahead, but we'll see this Creekview Grizzly team at home taking on that River Ridge team in a most anticipated 7-6A matchup, and it should be a lot of fun. And we're keeping our eye, of course, on that River Ridge score for you here tonight. Meanwhile, here, all Creekview 24-0 over Sequoyah. Another pooch kick right here. And this one, no fair catch signal this time, is Aiden Morey just going to take it on the run there and try to get what he can. Bangs his way up across the 30 to about the 32 before he's finally wrestled down by a host of white shirts. And that's where Sequoyah will have the football with 37 seconds left here in the half. As we mentioned, coming up, the Foundation Financial Halftime Show with the Golden Boy, Will Cooper, and Art Mosley here tonight. We're sitting right behind the Creekview crowd, and these folks all smiles here so far in this first half.
Absolutely nothing to frown about. No turnovers, forced a few turnovers. Well, there was one turnover, the interception at the beginning of the game. But since then, it's been a smooth ship for the Grizzlies. All the red zone worries are out of the air now, 24-0.
And this time, Jade Mitchell, right side, now trying to bounce it outside. Picks up a couple, but Sequoyah just keeping the football on the ground here. And that may very well be the final play of this first half.
I am kind of shocked. You can't take those timeouts home with you. I'd imagine at least burn them and maybe take a shot at some point.
They may just feel like it's time to go to the locker room and talk it out.
Readjust, hit the reset button, come back out in the second half here at Skip Pope Memorial Stadium and see if the Chiefs can get back in this ball game. And the clock winding down here. Sequoyah will snap it one more time, but they will keep it on the ground once again in just a couple of modest yards up across the 35, and that will do it. The scoreboard has hit triple zeros here in this first half, and all visitors in the 13th meeting between these two. And Sequoyah has a player down at the tail end of that play at the 38. The Grizzlies off the field. Sequoyah's off the field momentarily stopping. We'll try to pick up a number for you here in just a moment. But that'll do it for the first 24 minutes in this rivalry that has been going on every consecutive year since 2008. 2 minutes, and then we are back with the Foundation Financial Halftime Show. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM, WLJA.
At Foundation Financial Insurance and Wealth Management, we believe that your insurance protection and wealth management plan go hand in hand. We start by shopping your insurance with highly rated companies to find you the best combination of price and protection. With that plan in place, we can then work with you to develop a tailored financial plan. Whether you need to save money on insurance or you need a full financial plan, call us at 678-880-9571 or come by 670 East Main Street in Canton for a no-obligation consultation today. Securities and advisory services offered through Packer Land Brokerage Services Incorporated, an unaffiliated entity, member FNIRA and SIPC.
In times of uncertainty, it's nice to know that there's still some things that are certain. Hi, I'm Dave Garner here, your local Woodman Life representative. I want to make sure that your family is protected with needs-based life insurance through Woodman Life. Life insurance has many benefits. It's not just something that's there when you pass. It's mortgage protection, family savings, debt relief, replacing lost income, and overall peace of mind. Some companies sell it because they have to. We sell it because it's what we do. Call for a free quote today or visit me online, and let's make certain that you're protected from today's uncertainty.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Victoria speaking for Woodstock Furniture Outlet and Woodstock Mattress Stores.
Hey y'all, it's Victoria at Woodstock Furniture and Mattress Outlet. Now we know during post-COVID everybody's raising their prices, not us. And at Woodstock Furniture and Mattress Outlet we have the best 0% interest-free financing available. Come and see us at the furniture store in Akron, Hiram, Rome, and come and see our mattress-only stores in Canton, Kennesaw, and Douglasville, and get the best savings.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
Welcome back. Not welcome back. Welcome back to the broadcast, but it's the Foundation Financial Halftime Show, folks. I'm your host, Will Cooper, joined alongside Arthur Mosley. Dave Garner also wearing the headset. Pat O'Shea joining us up here to the left side of me, and Ronnie on the spot providing all the stats. But let's go over some of those stats that we've got here for you in this one. First of all, let's talk about the ability of the Creekview Grizzlies to rush. They've attempted, let's see, a total of 15 rushing yards. Yep. So you're going to have the leading rusher, amazingly, is actually Brody Rhodes. 5 rushing attempts, 49 rushing yards. And then next up is Tyler Stevens, 7 rushing attempts for 20 yards. And he's also leading receiver with 3 receptions and 35 yards in the air for him. So really impressed with this team coming out into this one. The second quarter totals, Creekview had the ball for 9 minutes and 6 seconds of possession. Sequoyah only had it for 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Sequoyah was only able to muster 20 total yards in that second quarter compared to the first quarter. They were able to get together about 31. So there's total domination by Creekview on the offensive side of the football and the defensive side of the football right now as the Sequoyah Marching Chiefs are out on the field. So you'll hear them in the background of our conversation here. But, Art, welcome into the Foundation Financial Halftime Show, partner, and it's a little bit of a different story than what we thought we would be talking about here at halftime.
I don't think anybody saw Creekview up 24-0, maybe other than Coach Williams and the Grizzlies down there. The fans have much to cheer about this week. And, look, it's been a game of story of big plays, and Creekview's been able to capitalize on those big plays. We talked about the mental mistakes when they get in the red zone. We've not seen them make those mistakes in the red zone, take advantage of every opportunity. That's how you win football games, not only in the regular season, but that rolls over to the postseason. And I don't want to jinx Creekview right now, but, man, they're looking pretty good. We knew about the defense. That offense has done what they're supposed to do. They look really good tonight.
Well, I mentioned it to Dave coming out. I felt like that, and I mentioned it before we went on air. I said this will either be a game, and I hate to sound like I know what I'm talking about because I promise I don't, but I said this will either be a game where we see two teams that struggle or somebody will have a breakout game. I said either Sequoyah or Creekview is going to figure it out. And it seems like Creekview's figured it out. They figured out whatever the issues were with the passing game. They figured out whatever the red zone troubles were. And, keep in mind, this is a Sequoyah team that came into this game doing very well defensively. They held Cass to 15, and then they turned around and held Johns Creek to 14, and Johns Creek beat Riverwood. And then you start going down the rabbit hole of, this team beat this team. You don't want to get down that too far, but it is to say that, Creekview's not putting up 24 points against a nobody here. But it seems like they finally figured out the offense, and that's exactly what you want to use your out-of-region games for. So the ability to, play the Woodstock, play Etowah, and play, obviously Cherokee really challenged them there. But once Cambridge rolled around, scored 19 points, still had a lot of issues in the red zone. But it seems like this bye week has really benefited the Grizzlies more than any other team coming out of this one so far. Obviously, that still remains to be seen. We got a whole nother half of ball to play, so don't think this is the end by far. Sequoyah is still a very disciplined team, still have a lot of athletes on both sides of the football, but I'm really surprised and really impressed with this Grizzlies team so far in this one.
It's like you said, Will, a lot of football left to play, but, man, they're going to this is where coaches make their money, right, making adjustments. If you're Creekview, you wonder if Coach Williams says, man, we get one more score, we can really run away and hide in this game. But I can't imagine they'll come and just run the ball with Tyler Stevens 27 times, although that might be an option. If we've seen the big backs, Stevenson, the fullback, get going a couple of times, and that could be an option. Like I said, Brody Rhodes, when he's rolling out to his right, great things have been happening in the passing game. And again, playing with short field, that gives you a lot of options. Seen a little trickeration there by
got it.
by the Grizzlies, so they're looking good. And I tell you what, and not a whole lot of great things going on for Sequoyah. You got Matthew Trainer with a couple of great runs on offense. He made the interception early on defense, but other than that, there's not a whole lot to talk about. And when you've got an offense that has 2 wingbacks and 1 wide receiver, really not a lot of options for explosive plays. Maybe they've got something special in the playbook they can dial up, but it's going to take a minor miracle for Sequoyah to get back in this game.
It is, and the thing is that the turnovers are what really killing you. That drop by Trainer over there on the fumble, you felt like the momentum kind of got sucked out of the Grizzlies' offense when Trainer intercepted the ball towards the end zone, did a really good job. But, man, I tell you, it's one of those things where you really have to keep your eye on it. We have Von Brown tweeting us in here some things, man, Vaughn over there on Twitter, you can't ever leave him alone, but just a few score updates from around the area for you. We'll jump in depth when we come back from break after this, but we'll jump in depth to the other games that we have around the county. But Gilmer up on Lumpkin 48-0 over there. Cartersville up on Cass 28-0 over there. That Pickens Cedartown game is 14-7, and then the other scores: Cherokee up 27-7 over Woodstock. So handling business over there. Some people put Cherokee on upset alert. I know that behind closed doors, some people felt like that Woodstock might have a chance to sneak in there, but it looks like Cherokee's holding their own. Riverwood up on River Ridge 14-7 over there as well. And our score here at the half is 24-0 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard update. And of course, we're in the Foundation Financial halftime show. When we come back, we'll talk about Von Brown. We'll give him the keys to the game. We'll finally release those for him. We know he's been aching for them. He works on them all week long. So we'll give those to you. If you didn't hear about it on Friday nights at the Tavern, so that's the second plug for you. You only get one more Art and Vaughn. And then when we come back, we'll also discuss the other games in depth. So we're going to take our first 2-minute break. When we come back, we'll talk about all that and more on the Foundation Financial halftime show. You're listening to WLJA 101.1 FM.
Are you paying too much for your car or home insurance? At Foundation Financial Insurance and Wealth Management, we represent dozens of highly rated insurance companies. We can help you develop the right protection plan for your family and then search to find you the best combination of price and protection. Call us today at 678-880-9571 or come by and see us at 670 East Main Street in Canton for a free, no-obligation quote on your home, auto, business, or life insurance. Securities and advisory services offered through Packer Land Brokerage Services Incorporated, unaffiliated entity, member FINRA and SIPC.
Not every road is worthy of a postcard, but don't tell that to the new Michelin Cross Climate 2 tires. Where you see 8 hours of road trip torment with stop-and-go traffic, the Michelin Cross Climate 2 with a 60,000-mile warranty sees a sun-filled family safe drive.
The Michelin Cross Climate 2 tire is safer for longer than leading competitors. Discover more at Michelin.com.
Turn to the experts and get a premium tire with premium service. Only at Canton Tire and Wheel in Canton.
Based on resistance to gravel and severe wear testing, compared to Michelin LTX MS, the 70,000-mile warranty only applies to E-metric sizes.
There's been so much talk about distracted driving, you're probably sick of hearing about it. Well, we'd rather you be sick of hearing about it than lose your life doing it. The caring staff with Sosby Funeral Home in Canton reminds you that we all have to go sometime, but don't rush it. Wait your turn and don't drive distracted. Keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and make sure you stay alert and arrive alive. Drive safely and help us protect our teens. They're the only future we've got. Brought to you by Sosby Funeral Home, honoring life from 191 Jarvis Street in Canton.
When you are the official sponsor of the comeback, adding a few feet to a drive matters.
First down.
So does shaving 1/10 of a second off a lap. Top-rated surgery, physical therapy, and motion analysis by the sports medicine team at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta helps young athletes not only prevent injuries, but heal faster and return stronger, ready to win. Our more than 25 orthopedic and sports medicine locations are ready to assist your athlete's comeback. To learn more, visit choa.org/sportsmed.
Welcome back to the Foundation Financial halftime show. You have to excuse Art. He's over there talking to a legend of the View.
In town this week, Andy Davis, former Creekview safety, now current Citadel linebacker. We had a chance to talk to him earlier this week on the podcast. I guess that's my
Friday
third
night
time.
at the Tavern. That's it.
That's
After
it.
that, it can't be named.
But good to see Andy Davis, man. He's like he said, he bulked up a little bit playing linebacker over the Citadel. Great to see them. Their season's over with. They only had four quick games, and that's what COVID has done to this season. But
claimed his first interception last weekend, correct?
Yes, he did,
Yeah.
and heard all about it from his parents. So great to see Andy doing great things over the Citadel.
Ethan Durham was able to bring in a touchdown reception for Mercer down there in South Georgia, so shout out to them. Man, I tell you, when you look around Cherokee County recently, you see a lot of these guys going different places. Nick Penley at Mississippi State, John Williams with his freshman year over in Clemson, Andy Davis, obviously with the Citadel, Ethan Durham over at Mercer, Paxton Naaman over there at Army as well. Those just a lot of talent around this team. Cade Radham at KSU. Man, you think about with the power that Creekview's had over the years, and they're one of the best recruiting teams for sure when you see teams come in for talent evaluation and things like that. Not taking anything away from the other guys, of course, but really impressed with those guys. So, as we mentioned, we're going to go over all the other games here at they're probably not at halftime yet because we have ran through this first half. Absolutely. The other game that's at half, it looks like, is 14-7. Riverwoods up over River Ridge. So River Ridge coming into this game really, really down in this one. Their offense has been averaging 40-plus points a game, only scored 7 in that half. They're going to have to find something out in that halftime meeting over there. Alpharetta up 21-20 over Milton right now.
That's a shocker. We thought we knew what Milton was, but we had some question marks. We did mention they lost to Cedar Grove, the 3A school that has a 7A defense, must we say. But hey, Milton's got their hands full this week, and we talked to Coach John Thompson, the defensive coordinator over at Alpharetta, earlier this week, and man, they obviously had some things special for Milton.
Lumpkin County praying for halftime, still not there yet. Gilmer up 55-0 over those guys. Pickens and Cedartown still not at half yet, 14-7. So that's really the only halftime score we have for you folks. We're sorry about that. It just so happens that we're flying through these games. Vaughn keeps us updated. So Vaughn, we appreciate you back on the what's the best way to say it? Back at the tavern, back at headquarters. However you want to say it. He's got lots of things for us. The chili dog's going, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention his keys to the game. So of course I will give it to you. Okay, Cherokee up 34-7 at the half. That's now the half score. But here are your keys to the game, according to Von Brown. We'll see how many of them came true. Sequoyah can't give up the big play, make Creekview drive. Well, they kind of did, except Creekview didn't have to drive very far, so wrong. Sequoyah first down success, 10-plus passes. They haven't had a chance to pass. They've turned it over too much, wrong. Brody less carries than Tyler Stevens. So far, that's true, so good job. You got one right. Creekview must get creative in the red zone. They did once, so I'm not going to give you that one. That's wrong. You're third down, Brown, on this one, and, boy, that time is slipping away from you in a hurry. So you better get your butt out here next time, or else I'm going to have more mean things to say about you. But it's true. We do appreciate Art more than Vaughn. Obviously brings a little bit more finesse into the broadcast. We appreciate it. We appreciate his infectious smile as well. Art's a very cheerful guy. Knows a lot of people on this Creekview sideline, even though, he has ties to Sequoyah. You'd think he's a Creekview guy. Definitely is a big fan of Macedonia over Hickory Flat. I don't know if you listened to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta pregame show, but I was talking a little smack about Macedonia, but I brought up that, listen, Macedonia is adding a Taco Bell in there now. That racetrack is going to open up soon. I don't know if you've ever had their breakfast pizza, but if you haven't, you had. By the way, there's a McDonald's over there, so whenever you get ready to buy our Travis Scott meals, you can go ahead and head over there for us. But, I'm telling you, man, this guy makes bets like you wouldn't believe. Travis Scott meals. We got Papa John's on the line today. Dave has one half left to say a keyword over there, and he gets $20 from Von Brown for a gift card to Papa John's because he's going to need that.
That might be a recruiting violation right there.
Well, the problem is, you see, Dave, is that the wintertime's coming around, buddy, and we don't want you to lose any more weight because we want you to stay warm. It's already bad enough you have to wear that beanie over here. Makes us ashamed, feel like we need to put you on the end of the table, and I'm stuck over here standing next to you in front of all these people. But that's all right. At least the glasses help offset it because they're really narrow-rimmed over there, so it's pretty even over there. But don't worry about it. When he heads home in his brand-new Ram, he'll stop by, get some almond milk and light salad dressing on the way. But our score here is 24-0 and the Foundation Financial Halftime Show. Art?
I just wanted to jump in and say Will Cooper is on fire tonight.
His feet still hadn't hit the ground yet.
Dave, we appreciate you, partner, more than anybody. And we always say this every week, and it's important that people know this. We are actually friends. I know that we give each other a lot of crap, but we are actually friends, I promise. We don't hate each other, or he might hate me after this one, but that's okay. But I tell you, man, we have a good time here, and we really like the broadcast team. Of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Pat over there, out there on the end, rocking the Atlanta Braves 1995 World Series hat. Credit over there where credit is due. 96, sorry. Sorry. Oh, my bad. 96. Sorry, everybody. That was my bad. I was -4 years old when that happened. So the last time we went to the World Series, I was -1. So I was probably being thought about at that point, or not going to get into that conversation. But yeah, I think at that point, in my lifetime, winning a playoff series. So I was 1 year old last time we won a playoff series. So that tells you how old I am.
Well, Will, you want to talk about the Braves? There was a time between 1991 and about 2002, 3. where Braves fans knew nothing, kids knew nothing but Braves going to the postseason. And so I did grow up a little bit before that time. I remember when the Braves were really bad, Will.
Me too.
No, I mean really, really bad, Will. It's before, but much before your time, whippersnapper. So we can talk about those stories another time, maybe over a Travis Scott burger at McDonald's. And,
okay,
and
all right.
I can tell you what it used to be like to be a Braves fan, not a Johnny-come-lately. In any event.
How can I be a Johnny-come-lately? I can't help the fact that I'm Johnny. There are certain things I just can't control.
Well, that's true. Hey, let's talk about a couple of scores that I found interesting.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about football.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Let's go for it.
If Riverwood, that score holds, that really muddles up this region, and it puts Johns Creek, a team we thought was going to be behind the 8 ball after that first region week when they narrowly escaped Sequoyah 14-10.
Yeah.
We don't really know what that win looks like for Johns Creek. They were able to go down to Riverwood, and in a game where Riverwood, similar to what Sequoyah did this week, turned the ball over a couple times, Johns Creek capitalized. Man, they're sitting at 2-0. You've got Riverwood. If they can get that win, that really muddles things up, and I think really might open the door for Creekview. Next week they might have a little more confidence going into that game next week. Still, again, in this game, still have a half to play. In that game, still have a half to play. So a lot of things can go on, but, man, a lot of interesting results around the region this week.
Yeah, there are. And also that Alpharetta-Milton game on the other end in the other region, Region 5, 7A. So for our 7A schools, listen, we all felt like Cherokee coming into the season was going to be improved. We didn't know by how much. But when we saw them at 5-0, like we said, sure, some of those games weren't as impressive as they could have been. If we're talking about a 2014 Rome Cartersville team, then yeah, world beaters. But right now in 2020, the way things are, Rome's having a down year. We know that. Cartersville looks like they're having a rebound game against Cass. Last we looked at that score was 28-0. So, and Cass a really good 5-0 team, as we mentioned, playing the Sequoyah team close. So we kind of knew going into this one that Cartersville still probably has a little talent. But keep in mind, they also have a new quarterback over there, and they're a city school. So that's all you can say about them. They're a city school. They're going to get what they get.
They certainly
use
do.
They use it.
They certainly do. We can talk about that off the
air.
Off the air,
exactly.
we'll talk about that. I do want to say, man, Cherokee keeps on winning like this. They'll move up in our rankings, and I can come out of the witness protection program.
Yeah, well, the big thing is for you got to hope that Milton loses because you keep putting Milton in ahead of those guys. And, those losses look rough.
Well, we'll see how Noonan and East Coweta do. I think those are the next two teams in, so Cherokee just keep winning.
I will give you 2 Travis Scott burgers if you put East Coweta in over Cherokee.
No, we can't. That just degrades the integrity of the rankings, Will.
I do have to give Art credit. I do have to give Art credit now for all of the jokes that we make. When it came time to rank the teams, he truly had a reason that he put Cherokee outside of the top 10 and backed it up with reasons, logics, and facts, something very rare in today's age, and then came back when he felt like they were truly a top 10 team and put them at number 10. So you're going to see them all over the rankings, and a lot of people buy into that recency bias, and Art does a really good job of staying with the programs he knows and doing a good job for them. And we saw that with Cartersville in your rankings. They didn't fall very far by losing to Cherokee. They obviously played Cherokee incredibly close, so that win was kind of brought down by how close it was, but also the loss was brought down by how close it was as well.
Sure, and when you talk about a top 10, 7A team, you expect certain things out of those teams in a game that's – the win counts, right? The win is the win. But in a game like that, you just expect a top 10 team to perform a little bit differently. And like you said, this week, A.J. Swan having a bounce-back week. So kudos to him and Coach Shaw. And Coach Shaw has said, hey, we've got to get things straightened out in the bye week. And it looks like they've done that against Woodstock. And the chips will fall as they may. The great thing about football, high school football in Georgia is we settle it by a playoff. So there's nobody care. At the end of the day, the polls are great for discussion.
Yep.
And we love the banter back and forth. But hey, you got to put the ball in the end zone and stop the other team from doing it, and that's what determines who goes to the playoffs.
Well, that's the thing about all these predictions, calculations, everything that we use, everything that we like to say, everything that gives us a reason to add up the math and keep track of all these things. All of that's thrown out the window because all that matters is that you are one of the top 4 teams in your region. That way you can get in the playoffs and your seeding. Very simple, very straightforward. There's no committee. There's no eye test. There's none of that. beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and if you don't beat the teams you're supposed to beat, you're out, or you get dropped to a lower seed. We see that happen a lot, but it looks like Cherokee County's got a few teams that are in pretty good position. We'll have to see what River Ridge can do as their top 10 in one poll at least. And Creekview might have to say something about that with a big win here if they're able to hold on to this one. And, of course, next week the River Ridge and Creekview game that we'll get into in the Sosby Funeral Home post-game show. This will wrap it up for our Foundation Financial halftime show. When we come back, we'll hand the broadcast back off to my friend Diamond Dave Garner, and he will take us through the second half of this one as Creekview is up 24-0 over the Sequoyah Chiefs. 2 minutes, and we're back. You're listening to the WLJA Cherokee County Game of the Week.
Are you paying too much for your car or home insurance? At Foundation Financial Insurance and Wealth Management, we represent dozens of highly rated insurance companies. We can help you develop the right protection plan for your family and then search to find you the best combination of price and protection. Call us today at 678-880-9571 or come by and see us at 670 East Main Street in Canton for a free, no obligation quote on your home, auto, business, or life insurance. Securities and advisory services offered through Packer Land Brokerage Services Incorporated, unaffiliated entity, member FINRA and SIPC.
As an athlete, you put it all on the line each and every day. Training, skill, and dedication. It's with these same characteristics that Pinnacle Orthopedics puts it all on the line for you, ensuring that you continue to play the game you love. With 5 locations and 16 physicians and surgeons, Pinnacle Orthopedics is the team physician for Kennesaw State University, as well as for many other schools and teams. Using only the latest technologies, Pinnacle Orthopedics is dedicated to keeping you at the top of your game.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.
The #1 magazine to read is Enjoy Cherokee. This beautiful full-color seasonal publication keeps you in the know with articles about interesting people, fun events, hot restaurants, and cool ideas. Enjoy Cherokee is for busy people who enjoy a lifestyle magazine worth reading and keeping. You'll find Enjoy Cherokee available at most high-traffic locations and mailed free to homes throughout Cherokee County. Join the thousands who don't miss a single issue. Follow us on Facebook and find issues on EnjoyCherokee.com. Ask for a free publication and enjoy.
We've only got about 1 minute left until we're ready for the second half of this one. The Chiefs are huddled up talking things out. Coach Williams having a discussion with the referee, and the teams are stretching over here, getting ready for this one to square off. I am Will Cooper, and I'm proud to bring you the second half of the football. But to help me do that, bring you the play-by-play and guide us through the second half of this one, my good friend, I promise I really do like the guy, the longtime broadcast partner, golden voice of the broadcast, Diamond Dave Garner. Dave, welcome back, partner.
You know, I'm saving up a list. I mean, I've got like I'm writing all this stuff down on my phone. I've got a list because at the end of the year we're going to do like a highlight reel, and then we're just going to lay it on thick. We're, Art and Vaughn and I, we're just going to gang up and just put it into it.
Yep,
but
that's okay.
Anyway.
That's all right. I can take it. If I can dish it out, I can take it. I've taken it for my whole life, so it's nice to find some people that I can make fun of as well.
Oh, man. We do have a good time for sure. Creekview having a good time in this first half, up 24-0 on Sequoyah as they get set to receive the second half kickoff here. And, again, the Chiefs trying to find some offense. Just been tough. A couple of costly turnovers that set up some short fields for the Grizzlies. And, they're up 24-0. They haven't had to really work too hard for it. They haven't had a lot of long fields. And so against Sequoyah, not only losing the turnover battle, but also the battle of field position as well here in this first half. And they certainly have their work cut out for them as the 12 minutes get set to go back on the clock here after the warm-up period is now at 0 and set and ready to go. So, again, should be a lot of fun. Dave Garner alongside Will Cooper and Art Mosley. Ronnie Cooper up here tonight on the stats and numbers doing an excellent job. Pat O'Shea from the Cherokee Tribune with us as well. He's been down there.
I have good news. The Gilmer Lumpkin game's finally at half. It's only 62-0.
Oh, wow. We're sitting there looking at all those scores and all those predictions before the game, the Maxwell ratings, all the different ratings, and you're looking at some of these and you're like, what? No way. And, I mean, sure enough, though, man, I'm telling you.
If you didn't know, he may be from LJ, and he may have got his start over there, but a good friend Dave Garner really does not like Gilmer at all.
No, that is not true.
He doesn't like Gilmer. I don't know why.
That's not, what are you talking about? I worked up there 15 years, dude. Come on now. I love the Bobcats.
He's a fan in County.
No, I love the Dragons. I love the Bobcats. I love the Rebels. Don't do that to me, man. I got to go home tonight. Here's the kickoff right here. Uh-oh, that one bobbled on the ground. It was a pooch kick, and this one not handled cleanly by the Chiefs. It's on the ground. Creekview says they have the football, and they do.
Grant Anderson with the recovery.
So how about that? The opening kickoff, a pooch kick like we saw the Grizzlies do most of that first half. This one comes down, but it's not handled cleanly that time, and I believe that might have been, was that Aiden Moore, I think, that it came down to.
Yeah.
And he just didn't field it cleanly. He started upfield. He had eyes of a return on that one. No fair catch or anything at all, but, boy, he started upfield with that ball, and it just went right through to the ground, and as you mentioned, Anderson all over that one. Wow, what a start.
Just when you think it couldn't get any worse, it does. And so we'll see if the Sequoyah defense can hold again. They held them to a field goal right before the half, and they got their work cut out again.
Worse? How can things get any worse? Look around you, Art.
Well, Grizzlies with yet again another short field. Here's Brody Rhodes loading up, throwing one-on-one down the field, has a man bobbled in and out of the hands. And once again, we talked about him a lot. One of the bright spots for Sequoyah has been Ben Sanders, the sophomore corner, who they have picked on a little bit here tonight. They've went his way several times, but that young man has stepped up and made some big plays in the back end. And that time it looked like Vaccaro was going to be open down the near sideline, and Sanders closed the gap, got his hand in there, and broke it up right at the goal line.
Yeah, big mismatch there. Vaccaro 6'1", 185 pounds compared to Ben Sanders, 6 foot, 160 pounds. So big size disadvantage, but did a good job playing the ball effectively, and no pass interference, just how you teach them to do it.
Trips far side. They're going to swing it out to one of them. That's Curry, who takes it back inside the 30 on 2nd down and 10, picks up a gain of about a yard or two. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 8 right here. And less than 30 seconds into this second half here, Creekview already flirting with another score here, up 24-0 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard.
Yeah, things can change in a hurry, that's for sure, and it just felt like that Sequoyah might have some sort of plan coming out of the gate, and they don't even get a chance to execute it.
There's been a Jeff Wells sighting.
A Jeff Wells sighting. Can you imagine Jeff showing up to a game and not Vaughn?
Another member of the Cedarwood Tavern crew here tonight.
Vaughn is slacking.
Notably absent is Vaughn Brown.
Yikes, what kind of excuse does he have for that?
3rd down and 8. Creekview throwing back. Oh, Brody Rhodes faking that throw under all kinds of pressure, retreats out close to midfield, finally gets rid of that ball and throws it away. He had a man in the area there, but he was running for his life. Vaccaro down the field, and it looks like an ineligible lineman downfield for Creekview, and that is a 10-yard penalty and a loss of down, so it'll be 4th down right here. And Creekview more than likely credit Sequoyah's defense. They made a stop right here, and they may be outside of field goal range, but let's see what happens.
Penalty was declined, not a loss of down play, so it's just declined there.
Okay.
So to bring up 4th down now.
There we go. Yep. So let's see what they do right here. And, you're kind of in that in-between territory, where you've maybe a little bit outside of field goal range. You're obviously a little too close to punt with the ball right at the 29. You'd be punting from about the 42. So it looks like they're just going to leave the offense on the field right here on 4th and 8 and go for it.
Dave ADO.
Attempt to draw offside perhaps here. They got him to jump a time or two in that first half. Rhodes will back up. Might see a quick kick right here. Oh, he hit it into the line, though. Wow, I'm not sure. I mean, technically that'll be a block, but I think he just hit that straight into the line. And number 21, Christopher Miller, the junior, was the one that was able to kind of get a body on it, although I think he was more in the right place at the right time. But that one backfired there. Brody, again, he was about 4 yards behind center. He backed it to about 6 or 7. You knew what was coming, but he just hit that one right off the end of his foot into the line.
Yeah. Poor kid got kicked right in the gut.
Yeah, right in the gut. I thought it was the backside, but either way, Sequoyah will take over at the 35-yard line.
So how about that? What a job by Sequoyah. I mean, I know not a lot went right in that first half, but for them to fumble away the opening kickoff, but to hold them to no points, that's huge. And now the offense will go to work. Here's Jaden Mitchell. He's got some room near side up across the 40, crosses midfield into Creekview territory and out of bounds down at the 37. What a run by Jaden Mitchell, the longest Sequoyah play of the night, and they're in business.
Well, that's how you respond right there. If you're a wing T team, don't get away from what you're doing. Just make it work. And a big run out there by Jaden Mitchell, just faster than everybody right there. So good play by them. Keep an eye on him and see what he can do for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, there's not a 24-point play that Sequoyah can run right here, so they just got to chip away and chip away.
Keep doing the simple things right.
We're throwing out a lot of Prather-isms there in that exchange. Wing T look right here. They move the tight end over from the right side of the formation over to the near side, over here to the left. Matthew Traynor again under center. And they'll bring more in motion. They'll hand it straight ahead, though. Mitchell's got some room, makes a man miss. Nifty move to the far side, outside. He's got running room inside the 20. 15 still on his feet. And finally bounced out of bounds inside the 15 down to around the 11 or 12.
Well, he decided he's going to carry this team on his back. Made an awesome cut, just stood up right under the line. Did a great job, bounced it outside, moved those chains enough for a first down. And, Dave, to answer your previous question, yes, I graduated from the School of Praetherism for my broadcasting.
Well, Asa Smokestack Jones back on the controls tonight. Want to say hi to him, and he's texting us as well, and he's just talking about how awkward our conversations have been here. So we're entertaining Asa back on the controls in the studio. Here's Jade Mitchell straight ahead, hit. Nope, the ball comes out. That was Matthew Traynor who held it. Kept it and picked up maybe a yard or two as he bounced it outside over on the far sideline there. Had me fooled there for a moment, but Trader out of bounds after a gain of a yard.
Looks like you should be running a camera for ESPN.
I was going to say.
Well, it looks like a
good operator.
The previous couple times they ran that play, Trainer, they did fake the dive, and Trainer went around the end, and I think Creekview made an adjustment at halftime and said, not this time, my friend.
Not so fast.
Not so fast. In the School of Lee Corso broadcast.
Yeah,
there we go.
I didn't graduate from there. I wasn't admitted.
So they'll give them 2 on that play, 2nd and 8. They can get inside the 2-yard line and get a first down. And they'll roll near side. This time that play going to be blown dead, though. Trainer was a quarterback run all the way, but I think someone may have moved up front for Sequoyah. So this one's going to be on the Chiefs. It'll back them up 5.
So Sequoyah does this weird kind of quasi-shotgun where they have 2 people to the left of the quarterback, and then they bounce out to that side. And it's normally just a quarterback run trying to get the blockers set out, but it's also a good way to start a play-action pass if you really want to call it a play-action by faking the quarterback run, if you will. But right there, one of the linemen that joined him in the backfield just kind of took off a little bit early there, and just that split second was enough to force the penalty, and now they'll go back to the wing tee.
So 2.5 into this second half. Both teams have already had the ball once. Sequoyah with their turn right here and driving with their best scoring opportunity of the night inside the Creekview 20. And this time handoff Jade Mitchell right side, but nothing doing there on 2nd and 13. And it'll be 3rd down and long right now as the clock moves inside 9.5 minutes.
Looked like they might have missed a perfect opportunity for a little screen. The Creekview Grizzlies kind of digging their heels in and getting aggressive. Set 3rd and 14. They're behind the chains now. We assume they're going to put the ball in the air this down.
And that assumption is normally when they put the ball on the ground because they're hoping the defense assumes the same thing.
So here we go. Ball put down right at the 16. Trainer will work out of the gun this time. And will keep it, but he's going to be drugged down right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or so, and that's about it. But a good play right there. Creekview again all over that one. That was Nick Stewart, it looked like number 31, who was able to drag him down there. And again, a short gain, 4th down. And decision time for Coach James Teeter in the Sequoyah offense. And it looks like they will bring on Steven Zarita to try to at least put some points on the board here.
Yeah, good decision here. Get something rolling.
So Zarita with the ball put down at the 22. It'll be a 32-yard field goal attempt. Ball right in the middle of the field. The snap, the hold, and the kick is up, and it is right through there. No, he missed it. Wow. Okay, so he missed it. It looked like maybe wide to the right. Oh, wow. Okay. So that ball looked like it was through there, but he missed it wide to the right. So Zarita, who came into the game 4 of 5 on field goals with a long of 49, misses from 32, and the Chiefs stay off the board here. And just a tough, both defenses turning away both offenses here in this 3rd quarter.
If anything can go wrong, it will.
Murphy's Law. And that field goal would have been good for maybe 50 yards had he had the accuracy there. But nevertheless, Creekview takes over at 20.
Wow.
That's
so
crazy.
Both teams up empty.
That's crazy.
On their first possession of the second half. So Creekview goes back to work, 24-0 still. And a big hole there. Oh, my goodness. Tyler Stevens was a step away from possibly taking that one to the house. Big gain on first down on the quick hitter. And the Grizzlies in business. That was a gain of 9 yards on first down. 2nd and 1. They've had a lot of 2nd and 1s. I mean, you're 2nd and 1 as opposed to 2nd and 12. It makes a big difference, and that's really been a big difference here in this ballgame.
It does, and especially if you would reverse the roles, Creekview would be the team much more pliable in that 2nd and 12. They would be able to convert it more often. But the 2nd and 1 is given to the Grizzlies, and then you see Sequoyah in their 2nd and 13, and the offensive styles are just too different for those different types of teams. And right now, Creekview is enjoying these 2nd and shorts.
And this time Rhodes going to the air. One-on-one. He's got a man there. That's Vaccaro. Makes the grab at the Sequoyah 35 and drug down just outside the 20.
What a throw. I mean, you couldn't have ran out and handed it to Vaccaro any better than that, right over the coverage. As we mentioned, they've been trying to take advantage of Ben Sanders. Well, they went to the other side with Ben Bedsole, senior, 6 foot, 160 pounds on the other side. Just took advantage of the coverage over there, and what a throw. I mean, absolutely just a drop in the bucket.
It's the best pass, and Pat O'Shea just said it. Best pass he's thrown all season. Just, like you said, just drop it in there. Perfectly thrown ball by Brody Rhodes.
You're kind of feeling like these two quarterbacks, A.J. Swan and Brody Rhodes, from what we're hearing, are kind of getting their legs out from under them here. And Brody right there really finding his stride if he's able to complete the downfield ball.
Yeah, perfect pass indeed over the outside shoulder of Vaccaro. Out of the coverage from Bedsole. Now Tyler Stevens will try to turn the corner over on the far sideline. Sequoyah defense string that play out. Flags come flying in, and this looks like a hold, and this one may be coming back here. But once again, Creekview in business with 6:50 left here in this third quarter. Again, leading 24-0 on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. We appreciate you guys tuning in here on a crisp and cool, but a nice Friday night for some high school football here under the lights at Skip Pope Memorial Stadium. And it is indeed a hold, it looks like, on the Grizzlies. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week.
You're listening to WLJA FM 101.1 and WLJA HD1 LJ, Woodstock, Jasper, Canton, and all of North Georgia.
Once again, Asa Jones on the controls tonight, keeping us straight and on the air. We appreciate everything he does for us right here. Again, Ronnie Cooper working the numbers and doing a good job with the stats here. Of course, Art Mosley of Turd Ferguson Report fame, and they've been giving it to him here tonight. I mean, it's kind of like every time Creekview does something, they turn around and they let him know it. They let him know every time they put points up on the board here.
Yeah. As if my eyes were going bad.
Right, I know.
And I appreciate the Creekview fans for giving me a hand here.
Well, they should know Cherokee County royalty when it steps onto the field.
So Creekview back to work here after the penalty. It is first down and right at 20, and Brody Rhodes the keeper all the way that time, just trying to make something happen. Not much there, though, at all. Nice job by that Sequoyah defense that time. Again, Seth Fitzpatrick, one of the guys in there, along with Chris Miller, the junior, as we talked about, and a couple of guys that have really played well. You know, Silva, we talked about him a lot here tonight. Trainer, obviously, with the interception on Creekview's opening drive of the ball game, but this defense has just had their back to the wall. Just, the turnovers, a lot of short fields here tonight for the Grizzlies, and that's a tough, that's a tall order against a very talented team.
Yeah, when you come into a team like this, you really have to play disciplined, and that, unfortunately, has not been the Chiefs so far. A lot of mistakes, turnovers, penalties when they can't have them. Just a rough start for the Chiefs.
2nd and 18, that ball knocked away, and then I believe it was intercepted, or at least Sequoyah thinks they have.
Yes, that's an interception.
And there's still no signal yet. Now they do make the signal. Wow. So, again, Rhodes throwing that ball over the middle. It went in and out of the hands. I believe it was a little bit low there. And Curry, I think it went off of his hands, and it landed into one of the Chiefs. I think the safety came up there and was able to pick that ball off. So a big turnover there. And once again, Creekview in Sequoyah territory twice this quarter, but turned away now 2 times.
Yeah, Jack Blackman, Johnny on the spot there with the interception off the deflection. So Sequoyah, maybe they can get something going. 5:45 here left in the third quarter.
You talked about Blackman, and he's been all over the field.
Yeah, he has. He's one of those guys I interviewed in the preseason, was really excited about this team coming in. Obviously not the start they wanted, but, man.
And now they trainer again under center this time. They ran a play, but it was blown dead, and Sequoyah pointing at Creekview, and Creekview pointing at Sequoyah. So I think this one actually going to be on the Chiefs. There was a little bit of movement there. So a 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15. We talk about this offense. Wing T can be very effective, as we talked about, but not the best offense to play with when you're behind and you get behind the chains. It's just because you're not relying on those big chunks of yardage. It's, 3-4 yards a pop. So 1st and 15, is like 1st and, 25 for, some teams. But
they're not saying crazy things can't happen and you can't have a big play, but you condense everything so the winning plays are only 4 or 5 yards. That's a big play for a Wing T team.
Oh, 2 men in motion there. Not a good look for Sequoyah here.
Yeah, going to blow that one dead as well. They let the play run, but weekend, we're going to have another penalty right here, it looks like. So
Just can't do that in American football. Maybe you can in Canadian football, but we're here in North Georgia, so that's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Have we thought about starting an arena football team? I have a good name, but nobody's interested. All right.
Well, we're just not sure if we want to.
No, you're good.
Go that route.
You're good. I just like arena football. I think it's fun. You get to slam people up. It's like hockey where you get to slam people up against things, but it's football.
Well, there you go.
So
there you go.
Everybody nervously laughs.
First and 20. Here we go.
Thank you, Art.
5:40 left here. Third quarter, still 24-0 Creekview, and Sequoyah again after another 5-yard penalty. Trainer hit hard, though, right at the line. May have lost a couple yards more back to the 10. So this drive going the opposite direction for Sequoyah here after they've turned the Grizzly offense away twice here in this quarter, but their offense just not really helping them out much here.
Yeah, Chase Disney, Chase McNeil. I see both names. The official roster has him listed as Chase Disney, so that's what I'm going with. But if you're keeping stats at home and you see Chase McNeil, I've also seen that name, so please don't hurt me. But, yeah, 5'9", 185-pound senior linebacker, 24 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, make that 6 now, and 3 sacks coming into this game.
So it's 2nd down and 23 for the Chiefs offense. Here's Aiden Moore in motion, and they're going to hand it back into the middle. And just not a lot of room there at all. Man, look at all the Grizzly players. There's 11 hats right at the football, and, of course, that's what they teach you right there. Sequoyah, though, just unable to come up with anything there. So now 3rd and 23 is what it's looking like. I don't think they had a gain on that last play. So, again, Sequoyah need a big play right here to try to keep this drive going somehow.
Dave, what do you have in the playbook on 3rd and 23 on the wing tee?
Fullback trap.
Yeah, well, Jaden Mitchell, I mean, it's got to involve number 7 probably in some way, shape, or form. I think maybe throw to him out of the back foot right here or something, but speculate, and we'll see what happens. Creekview, meanwhile,
maybe a little trickeration would be in order.
Here we go. Matthew Trainer looking to throw the football, trying to set up a middle screen right here, and they've got it, but just not a lot of room to run. Creekview played it well, maybe a couple of those yards back on 3rd and 23, but maybe just a couple, if that. And the marker is going to stay at the same spot, so they're going to say no gain. So it'll be 4th down right here, and Sequoyah with no other plan but to have to punt this one away.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to even go for it on 4th down, you're not doing it on 4th and 20. So
Steven Zarita back. As we mentioned, averaging close to 40 yards a punt coming into the ball game tonight. Good snap this time, and Creekview brought a little bit of pressure, but Zarita gets it out of there. Fair catch signal by the Grizzlies at the Sequoyah 44. Curry makes it, and once again another short field. How many drives has Creekview had starting in Sequoyah territory tonight? Here's another one.
Trivia question of the day. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's the thing for the Grizzlies is, yes, their offense has been extremely impressive today, but they haven't had to work. I would be interested to see, as we get further down the road in this, if you're going to play against Creekview, make your mission to be make them drive 80, 90 yards each drive. Don't give them the ball on each side of the field because that's what they've had to work with today. And that's why the yardage discrepancy isn't as big as it should be, because if you would have given these guys the ball on the 20-yard line and made them drive as far, it'd be a much bigger yardage discrepancy.
So 3:25 to play, and Creekview will go back to work. 24-0 the score. The Grizzlies leading the Chiefs here in the 13th meeting all time. The Battle of East Cherokee, the Battle of Hickory Flat, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff here. Now, we've always called it the Battle of East Cherokee for the years that we've done the broadcast here, but Will's changing the game a little bit. The Golden Boys bringing another perspective, and we will respect that.
I appreciate
We don't have to agree with it, but we'll respect it.
That's fine.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Fine. But no gain on that last play by Creekview. Again, 2nd down and 10. Once again from the Sequoyah 44. Brody Rhodes with the shotgun snap here. Going to hang on to it, fakes it, throws it deep down the far sideline. Broken up nicely at the 28 on the far side by the Chiefs there. And a little play-action fake that time. Roll to his left. Fire down the sideline, but incomplete. So it'll be 3rd down and 10. And one of the rare 3rd and longs that Creekview's offense has had tonight.
Yeah, Ben Sanders did a good job on the coverage there, and now if you're the Sequoyah defense, it's time to pin them back here. 3rd and long, make them go the full 10 yards. You know, obviously you can play your defense slightly more conservatively on this one. You have a few yards to give, so just try and get a stop here and give it back to your offense, see if you can get something rolling.
Cheerleaders in the house here tonight. The Sequoyah band, as we've talked about, 25% capacity. Throw back right here, and again, breaking the tackles, Tyler Stevens. They threw a little screen to him out of the backfield. He stumbles forward, and he's going to be close to that first down marker. Well, they needed 10 yards, and they got the first down. So Tyler Stevens over on the far sideline over there takes it down inside the 35, and he got right to the 30-yard line. They kind of sprinted Rhodes to his right and then threw back. And Tyler Stevens was set up there, and he was able to break a tackle. If they make that tackle, it's 4th down and a mile, but slipped the tackle, and there was just no one else there to make it.
Just great effort there by Stevens on that run, man. And again, you got to make a play. And tonight, Creekview has been making all the plays. Hats off to the Grizzlies, and that's another great play by Tyler Stevens.
100%. That last drive, by the way, 15 plays, 89 yards, 54. Sorry.
And here's a big play here. And down the sideline, it may be a touchdown. There is a flag that comes flying in. I think we're going to have a hold here. If the play stands, it is a 30-yard touchdown pass and catch from Brody Rhodes to a Dawson Curry. But I believe one of the receivers downfield may have had one of the Sequoyah defenders may have grasped the jersey there a little bit, and Creekview's already walking this one back. So.
By the way, Ronnie on the spot answered the question. This is the 5th drive to start in Sequoyah territory for the Creekview Grizzlies.
So there you go.
Sorry, no drive.
Ronnie on the spot had the answer to our trivia question.
So there you go.
He gets a Travis Scott meal now.
There you go.
You're racking them up, Art,
man.
man.
Hey, real quick score update. Amir Morrison does it again, 65-yard touchdown run. That score is tied 14-all in the third quarter.
Wow. Boy, big ball game there. Looking forward to seeing those guys against this crew that we're watching here tonight next week over at Creekview. We'll see Sequoyah again as well, I think, a little bit later on in the season, maybe. We got to look and see. I don't know. I haven't looked that far ahead yet. We're 1 week at a time, man.
We are. Very blessed to be here today, and very blessed if we get the next Friday. That's the way we look at it.
Never know. Flex game's coming up. First down and 10. Here we go. Brody Rhodes, keeper all the way. Tiptoes his way down the near sideline. Steps out of bounds right at the first down marker. It may be close. Once again, this Creekview team, as we talked about, came into the game at 3-1. And, of course, if they can hang on here tonight, we'll improve to 4-1, but more importantly, 2-0 in the region. Of course, Trevor Williams in his second year, 4th head coach at Creekview. Of course, Al Morrell, the longest tenured coach, was there from 06 to 12. And, of course, Terry Crowder came in. Adam Carter, of course, for years, we know, as the Grizzlies went to the quarterfinals, and now Williams comes back in, trying to lead Creekview back to that same result and even further. Minute 25 left here in the third quarter. 24-0 still Creekview on top of Sequoyah. The Chiefs have just not been able to muster the offense here tonight. Brody Rhodes straight forward on 2nd and 3, and it was a quarterback draw all the way, but he got sandwiched in between a pair of Sequoyah defenders right at the 25-yard line. So not much of a gain there at all. Bring up third down.
Yeah, Joseph Silva and Seth Fitzpatrick both squished him in between the two right there, and it brings up another 3rd and short, and Brody's hurting a little bit after that one. Holding his, I don't know, I believe that's his left arm that he's holding quite gingerly. So not his throwing arm, but he did get sandwiched pretty good, but he's staying in this one. Tough young man.
Kind of jumped, kind of left his feet there a little bit to kind of jump over a guy, and he got kind of hit, sandwiched in midair. And,
not fun.
Silva coming in with a big hit to sandwich him, like you guys said. They're setting up a 3rd down here.
So here we go. Rhodes again out of the gun. Tyler Stevens, and they're going to fake it right here to him, but Rhodes is hitting the backfield and dropped, and all kinds of Chiefs in on that one there. Again, Chris Miller, again, we've called his name a lot here tonight. Also Harrison Hood, number 55, in the backfield as well, forcing a 4th down after a loss of 3.
Well, if you're Sequoyah, this is what the doctor ordered. They'll probably let this one go to the half, I suppose, or the quarter end, excuse me.
Yeah, 13 seconds left, and again, they've already basically turned the play clock off here for this play here, and that'll do it. So the final seconds will tick off here in the third quarter, a stalemate. And quarter number 3, as the score is the same coming out of the locker room as it is right now. 24-0 Creekview on the Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. 4th and final quarter coming up from Skip Pope Memorial Stadium. We'll take a 30-second break. You're listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
As an athlete, you put it all on the line each and every day. Training, skill, and dedication. It's with these same characteristics that Pinnacle Orthopedics puts it all on the line for you, ensuring that you continue to play the game you love. With 5 locations and 16 physicians and surgeons, Pinnacle Orthopedics is the team physician for Kennesaw State University as well as for many other schools and teams. Using only the latest technologies, Pinnacle Orthopedics is dedicated to keeping you at the top of your game.
And we welcome you back inside Skip Pope Memorial Stadium. It's 24-0 Creekview over Sequoyah here on our Cherokee County Game of the Week. With 12 minutes to play here, Dave Garner alongside the Golden Boy Will Cooper. And again, Art Mosley with us here tonight. Ronnie Cooper on the stats and numbers as we take a look at the stats through 3 quarters here.
Creekview's got 46 plays for 266 total yards, 12 of 20 through the air, 174 yards there, 21 rushes for 92 yards. Sequoyah, 28 plays, only 105 yards, 20 rushes, 97 yards, 2 for 2 passing, by the way, only 8 yards, but 4 first downs compared to 10 for the Grizzlies.
So there you have it, the numbers coming out of the third quarter here. And again, all Grizzlies here tonight in this 13th meeting, all time between these two. So Brody Rhodes again with a 4th down and 7. The Creekview offense just going to stay on the field right here after the quarter. And now Rhodes takes the snap, running for his life. He was trying to throw the football, but he couldn't get rid of it as the Sequoyah Chiefs were in the backfield in a hurry. And a big pressure right there. Rhodes had to step up in the pocket and finally went down, and the ball will go over. So once again, the Sequoyah defense turns away the Creekview offense for the 3rd time here in the second half. No points, and we're basically where we were at.
Yeah, and the only difference now is that the clock's a little bit further down in this game, so you have 12 minutes if you're Sequoyah, so trying to find something, if anything, but you're going to see them, I believe you'll see them now just try to run their offense and just try and build a little bit and get set for the, you hate to say look ahead to next week, but most likely that, but you never know. There's still plenty of time for them to get a few passes out and get some things rolling.
Trainer out of the gun, man in motion, looking to throw the football. Now under pressure, steps out of one tackle, but, well, he's still going, finally gets rid of it. Jade Mitchell, wow, he's got a play down the near sideline and steps up across the 40. Boy, it looked like Matthew Trainer was going to go down back at the 20. There is a penalty marker down, though, so unfortunately for Sequoyah, this may be coming back. But what a play as we see the athleticism there by Matthew Trainer. He looked like he was going down 2-3 different times there. Somehow finds Mitchell out of the backfield, gets the ball out of his hands. Mitchell does the rest, but this one is indeed coming back.
Yeah, Aiden Moore was going to get called for the block in the back over there. Trainer was really upset with him, said he didn't need the block anyway, but it's easy to say once it's already happened. So, boy. But you're exactly right. That's a Johnny Manziel type play right there. Just picking himself up, running around. And, by the way, as we mentioned, Creekview with 22 sacks coming into this game, it's not exactly easy to get away from those guys.
They had 11 2 weeks ago, as we talked about, against Cambridge in that 19-0 win. A lot of pressure here. Again, it's been an opportunistic defense for Creekview. 11 sacks.
A.J. Mentor works around the double. 2 strikeouts, ground out.
There we go.
Moving to the bottom of the first here. Once again, we'll have the Braves after our coverage here wraps up with the Sosby Funeral Home postgame show.
So here we go. First down and 20. Going to set up a little middle screen to Mitchell this time, but he's wrapped up. Looked like it was going to be a bigger play than what it ended up being, but Sequoyah only gets about 5 yards out of it. Nicely played by the Grizzlies. Is that ALCS game a final?
No.
Houston up 7-2 on Tampa Bay,
the bottom
I
of the
believe.
7th,
Yep.
correct, right now. So
we'll try to keep you informed on what's going on in the world of Major League Baseball as well, as, again, WLJA is also your home, North Georgia home for the Atlanta Braves and the Georgia Bulldogs. They got a big one tomorrow night, as we talked about, against Alabama. Here are our scores, 24-0, Creekview over Sequoyah, with 10.5 to play here in this 4th and final quarter. This game moving along pretty quickly, ahead of a lot of the other games in the area. We might be off the air before a lot of the other games finish here tonight. And a low pass right here, but it is complete right back to, they're going to wave it off. Yeah, they said that that pass just a little bit low there. It was intended for Manny Ramos, the sophomore, but bobbled and thrown just a little bit low back at the original line of scrimmage, so the ball will stay back at the 22. It'll be 3rd down and 18. Sequoyah needs their 32 for a first down, it looks like. So they got to find a play here in the back of that playbook to try to keep this possession moving.
Yeah, it looks like it's 3rd down in Macedonia right here for the for the Chiefs here as Trainer goes back under center.
I like that one, Art. Proud of you.
Trainer takes a look, Firing deep one-on-one. He's got a man there, a far sideline, but just overthrew him. Good coverage. And the back end by the Grizzlies, but that ball will fall incomplete. It'll be 4th down. And Sequoyah indeed will bring on the punt team here tonight. It just hasn't gone the Chiefs' way offensively. We talked about it coming into the game tonight. And Vaughn, now I will say this. Now, Will was a little tough on Vaughn there at halftime. I mean, but I will say this, that Vaughn had some good keys there. And one of the things he talked about certainly was Sequoyah having to avoid turnovers, which they really haven't done here tonight. And the other thing was, try to get the ground game going here a little bit against a tough Creekview team as that punt sails to midfield. Fair catch signal is made at the 50-yard line. So once again, another short field for the Grizzlies. But, they just haven't been able to sustain offense here tonight.
Okay, well, he's second down, Brown. That's fine.
He moved up.
Yeah,
all right. You had him at 4th down, but we might give him second.
He should probably be 3rd down.
If he shows up next week, we'll promote him.
If he's invited.
You got to get first down Brown back in the broadcast.
We're gonna have about 4, 5, 6 headsets maybe set up by the time it's all over with, because we got too many people we want to have on with us.
It's true. Too much talent in Cherokee County.
1st down and 10, and Creekview will just keep it on the ground right here. And they'll pick up about 4 yards down to the Sequoyah 46. That's Tyler Stevens on the carry. We talked about Stevens, of course, the big part of that. One of the things that Vaughn did say was that he was looking to see more of Tyler Stevens establish the ground game more than them having to rely on Brody Rhodes. Now, I think Brody's probably outgained Tyler to a certain extent. Brody's had a couple big runs here on the night and a lot of manufactured runs, certainly. But I like the combination of what we've seen here. It just kind of goes to show you the double and triple threat of this Creekview offense when things are clicking. And this might be, as you said, Will, the breakout game for this Grizzly offense.
Yeah, you had to feel like the Grizzlies had too much talent coming into this one to keep giving up, a couple of touchdowns.
Brody Rhodes looking, rolling left, now going backwards under pressure, just gets rid of that ball, nearly intercepted. He threw it back to about the original line of scrimmage, and there weren't too many Creekview receivers in the area there, and some of the Sequoyah folks want maybe a grounding or something there, but not going to get it. It'll be 3rd down.
So to finish my thought on that, I was going to say that the Creekview has too many pieces and too much talent on that offense to keep only scoring a couple of touchdowns and having the red zone issues that they had. So you knew there was something they were working on, and you could kind of tell during the Cambridge game because they kept going forward on 4th down. But that bye week came at a really good time for them, and it seems like they finally figured it out. Now, listen, you are who you are. My dad likes to say that look at the back of your baseball card, and that tells you who you are. Look at the back of their baseball card, and the offense isn't that good. But if they can keep doing this for a little bit, then they might roll around and actually be a pretty decent offense.
3rd down and 6, going to throw it out of the backfield. Oh, intercepted, nearly went the other way. It was dropped. Boy, I tell you what, number 55, Harrison Hood, the junior defensive end, 6'2", 220 pounds, had it right in his mitts. They were trying to throw it out of the backfield, and he stepped in front of it and was already headed the other way with it at the 40-yard line, but just couldn't quite hold it, but it will be 4th down.
Ooh, boy, man, that would have been close to a house call, by the way. That young man had the ball and was running with it, but unfortunately couldn't bring it. Lineman hands, if you will, and struggled to keep that one down. But that's all right. Brings up 4th down, force the Grizzlies into a punting situation, and get the ball back to your offense here.
A little shocked that Creekview's throwing the ball here up 24 points with 9 minutes left to play. Thought we'd get a steady dose of Tyler Stevens, but here we go with the punt on 4th down.
Don't take anything for granted.
Yeah, this one's going to be a low liner. Sequoyah will just back away from it, let it bounce. Takes a little bit of a Grizzly hop. And we'll reach the 12-yard line there. That would have been the 2nd pick 6 of the season for the Sequoyah defense had Hood been able to hold it, assuming he was able to outrace everyone else the final 40 yards there that he had in front of him. And the Sequoyah defense, as we talked about, 4 sacks this year coming in, but 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles, a couple of fumble recoveries, and they've been opportunistic in a lot of ways, but just have had their backs really against the wall tonight on a lot of these short drives, and Creekview's made them pay.
100%. I think that's the biggest thing is that when you look around at everybody, you got to have a lot of talent at all these different places, and Sequoyah has a lot of talent coming around to this one, but it's all over the place.
So inside 9 minutes here in the ball game as the Chiefs again try to find a little bit of offense. And no gain on that last play there. They hand it off left side, and Not a lot of room tonight for Jaden Mitchell. Coming into the ballgame, we talked about, Tyler Stevens of Creekview and establishing that run game. The same thing Sequoyah had to do as well on that side. Coming into the ballgame, we talked about Mitchell, 337 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns coming into the game. But for the most part, he's had moments, but he's been bottled up for the most part by the interior of that Creekview defense. Trainer trying to throw this one across the middle. He's got it, man. Complete at the 20. Close to a first down, but a little bit shy there, and it will be third down and about a yard or two, it looks like. That time, Trainer had some pressure on him.
Had some pressure, but still in the pocket. We've seen him with some happy feet a couple of times with those Creekview defensive linemen kind of giving chase, but this time he hung in the pocket and then threw a great pass under pressure.
Yeah, no, you're right. The party chant breaking out over here on the Creekview side. I tell you, man, nothing's lost on this rivalry. Still a good crowd from the Creekview side, good crowd from the Sequoyah side as well. Really impressed with them showing out with the 25%. 25% looks a lot more full on the Creekview side over here, obviously, but the 25% also showed up for Sequoyah, but they do have a large stadium here at Skip Hope. So this rivalry is definitely not lost any luster over the time.
Nope.
But it's certainly looks like Creekview is still going to take advantage of this one.
Yeah, and anytime you have a school, Creekview, which is newer than Sequoyah, they want to kind of one up their older brother, and they've done it year after year. But Sequoyah's got some work to do. They still got several, halfway through the season now, 5 games to go. They've got to get some things squared away. But I can guarantee you next year they'll come back and
be right back in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Yep. This is a big stadium right here. Again, the home bleachers go goal line to goal line, and the visiting bleachers are about the same, so a lot of room to sit. And this time they'll go third down and short. 3rd and 2, they go left side to Mitchell, but he is stopped. And I don't think he got there. He may have done good just to get back to the line of scrimmage, so it will be 4th down now at this point in the ball game. Again, you got to wonder if they'll just go for it or if they'll just go ahead and punt it away. It looks like they will punt it away right here. And that'll run it down. So the same score at halftime was 24-0. That's where we're at right now. Neither team scored in the 3rd quarter. Neither team has scored here in the 4th. Good snap this time, though. Oh, boy, a little bit of pressure there. One of the Grizzlies nearly got a hand on that one. Fair catch signal for a Creekview at their 48. And once again, a fairly short field. This is one of their worst starting field positions of the night, their own 48-yard line out near midfield.
I tell you what, we'll see if they get a steady dose of Tyler Stevens. I can't imagine too many more passes here with 7:14 left to play in the ball game. Maybe isolation off tackle, off left, right tackle, and call this a night. Put this game on ice, and Creekview looking pretty good as region play is continuing this week.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be interesting to see how River Ridge closes out the game over there. Haven't got another score update from them in a while, so a really electric offense kind of shut down over there. We'll get more into that in just a minute.
Here is Tyler Stevens. Number 15 gets his number called, takes it across the midfield stripe just into Sequoyah territory, gained a 3 to the 49. Will bring up 2nd down and 7 as we hit the 7-minute mark here in this 4th and final quarter. Again, Creekview up 24-0 on Sequoyah. The Chiefs, again, looking to a game at home next week right here back at Skip Hope Memorial Stadium against Cambridge. And meanwhile, Creekview, again, next week will return home as they take on River Ridge for yet another inter-county matchup and a very most anticipated matchup for sure between those two ball games and a big region ball game as well. Here is 2nd down and 7. Rhodes again, they're running that play clock down now inside of 10 seconds, trying to take as much off as they can. And, the one thing, you can't play to guard injuries as they hand it off to a Stevens right side. No gain this time, though. Good job by the Chiefs to squash that one. But the main thing is you don't want to run any more plays than you have to and start throwing the football and you get people hurt. We saw Andrew Cloy, of course, now out of the lineup and everything. And so I think it's a situation where you don't want to get cute. You want to just, for more than just running out the clock, you want to keep guys healthy as well.
100%. The thing is that you want to do low risk plays. So, you think about a pass over the middle, there's a lot of risk with that. Mm-hmm. You think about, long shots, your quarterback's exposed. Handing the ball off up the middle is not a high risk play. Of course, there's risk inherent in football, but it's not as bad as some of the other plays you'll see.
Brody Rhodes loading up, throwing down the field. He had Vaccaro wide open, streaking down the middle of the field at the 20-yard line. So just as we say that, they take a deep shot down the field there, but they overthrow Vaccaro, who would have walked that ball in if that ball was just a little bit lower, but Rhodes overshot him down at the 20.
They feel no sympathy for Sequoyah, apparently.
And why should they? I think a couple years back in 2017,
You're
Sequoyah
right.
poured it on.
Yes, they did.
And I would imagine that in a rivalry game, you know, hey, you're playing to the final horn, and that's what Creekview needs to do. And no shame in that play call. They had the right play call dialed up, just oversight his receiver.
He did. Vaccaro was open for another touchdown reception.
So they will punt it away right here. Hubert gets his foot into it. And this one will roll. Once again, the Chiefs will watch it. It goes inside the 20, takes a little bit of a roll back upfield. Down right at the 20-yard line by the Grizzlies.
Freddie Freeman will tag from third, and the Braves will move up 1-0 at the bottom of the first.
Yes,
sack
sir.
fly to Travis Darno, who was just a couple feet short of a home run.
Wow. Good news right there for the Bravos. Trying to close it out tonight. We'll throw our coverage after this one is over with. We will have a short post-game show, again brought to you by all the folks at Sosby Funeral Home, and then, of course, we will join the Braves coverage live in motion as we sign off here tonight. The first 5.5 minutes still left here to play in this one. The Grizzlies again up 24-0 on their rival Sequoyah Chiefs, and at the snap, this one going to be blown dead. There looked like there was a little bit of movement up there on the line. And this will back him up 5 yards. Yeah, offside on the Chiefs. We talked about Trevor Williams, what a job he's done his second season. Of course, 295 yards of offense, almost 300 yards of offense per game coming in, 164.3 on the ground and 131 through the air. So a very balanced offense for Creekview coming into this ball game here tonight. As we've talked about, and a little bit more of the same here tonight. They've done a good job of mixing it up. And you know, to your point, Will, I mean, I think we've seen, we talked about it coming in. You know, we talked about A.J. Swan at Cherokee. We talked about, of course, Brody Rhodes at Creekview. Both those guys seem to really be coming in tonight, coming off the bye week, and maybe, you know, fresh legs, as you talked about. Now, Sequoyah again keeps this one on the ground right here, continues to work that clock, but not much there, though, on the ground has been the story tonight against that Creekview defense.
Yeah, well, I think the big thing for Creekview is that you get to have a different identity. You're no longer the defensive team when you're able – even, listen, with this defense, you don't have to score a lot. And, you know, they've said for years that good defense beats good offense. And, you know, I think for them, it's the big thing for them is that they just have to continue being what they are. If you want to be a running team, do it well and execute the play-action pass. And then rely on this defense because it's pitching another shutout. So if you count defensive points, this would be three shutout games in 5 games that you've played in total. And keep in mind, one of those is to a top 10 7A team.
Matthew Traynor loading up, throwing the flat, got him in complete, but hit right away and dropped. And a nice play there, Nick Stewart. We've called his name a lot here tonight. Mr. Stewart has been all over the place here. Big hit right there. A short gain there up to the 20. Which is back to about the original line of scrimmage on this drive for the Chiefs, and they still got a long way to go right here, 4:20 to play.
Yeah, well, listen, the other thing, too, is that, as you mentioned, Nick Stewart coming in to play corner, but they also get Owen Mello back who's been out for quite a few weeks. We saw him against Cherokee and did a great job, and it won't be too long until Cloy comes back from his injury, so you're going to get some pieces back that you need, and it's going to come at a good time in this region schedule, so we'll get into that more deeply in the Sosby Funeral Home postgame show.
Traynor under all kinds of duress will just have to tuck it and run it out of bounds. He's shoved out over here on the near side. Shy of the first down marker, 2nd and 12. He picked up about 5.
Yeah, it's tough when you've only got 2 receivers running a pass route and that kind of pressure coming, you know, late blitz right up the middle, right in his face, and so he's got to get out of the pocket. And if those 2 receivers don't get open, man, that just makes a tough decision for the quarterback. He tucks and get the most out of it. Now it's 4th and 6, and Zarita, we've called his name a lot tonight for Sequoyah on the punt again.
Yeah, 3:52 left in the ball game, 24-0. Sequoyah not even going to try to go for. Oh, he dropped the snap. Still got the kickoff, though, because Creekview didn't really have a rush on. And that ball will go and takes a big bounce. Wow. Takes a big Sequoyah right up against the near sideline, right in front of the Creekview bench. It takes a big bounce at the 45 and bounced another 15 yards down to the 40-yard line of Creekview.
This is like the second worst field position Creekview's had all game. I think, you know, the opening
on
kickoff.
the 40-yard line.
Opening kickoff, Zarita puts it in the end zone, so they started their 20, and now here they are from the 40.
Yeah, all the other drives except, you know, they had the one before this was at the 48.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the one at the midfield stripe. And then other than that, though, they've all started in Sequoyah territory.
Lumpkin
they got to go a long way this time.
Yeah.
Lumpkin starting the comeback 62-7 over there.
Uh-oh. Yeah, they got on the board. The Indians having a tough season over there in Dahlonega. So 3:42 left in this one. Let's see if Creekview tries to take a shot down the field again here. Vaccaro in the lineup, Tyler Stevens, and it looks like new back in there as well. We got the carry there. No gain, though, on the play, I believe. Trying to catch a number there. That was, I think it was,
Stevens.
Is that Stevens? No,
I
that's
think
still
he's still in
Tyler
the ball
Stevens.
game.
Okay, yep, he's still in there.
A little surprised with that. With 3 minutes left, you'd kind of expect them to maybe keep these guys fresh for a little bit. But listen, you're coming off a bye week. Maybe these guys want to get the energy out. You know, probably have a few plays you're trying to work on. Some live contact helps. They got two wide receivers split out in the tight end, so you never know what kind of looks they'll get. 41-7 over at Cherokee, 35-7 on Eagle Mountain.
4-3 look defensively for the Chiefs. Tyler Stevens again on the ground and weaves his way to the 45. A gain of 5 on second down. Will bring up a 3rd and 5, and there's a penalty marker down.
Holding coming back here. Venter back on to pitch the second inning for the Braves.
Going with the bullpen lineup here tonight. Appreciate you guys being with us. Just a couple minutes away from the Sosby Funeral Home post-game show. Will the Golden Boy Cooper and Art Mosley will wrap it up for you here tonight from Creekview and Sequoyah. We'll do our best to kind of go around the area, the region, the county, and some of the other games as well, get you some scores. Like I said, our game may be the only one final by the time we get ready to report them.
Oh, that's for sure.
So the way this thing has moved here tonight, you got two teams that like to run the football, and that's just a product of it. You know, when you've got, Sequoyah team that they like to ground and pound, and of course Creekview, even though they've gotten some chunks through the air tonight, they do like to run the football, and two teams that like to keep the clock rolling here. So again, we've played 2 hours, and we're almost out of here. 2.5 to play on the clock. Creekview again starts this drive after the penalty. It starts this play anyway, 2nd and 25, and they'll just keep it on the ground. Vaccaro straight ahead, punches it across the 30, picks up about 7 yards or so of that penalty yardage back.
River Ridge takes the lead with another touchdown run by Morrison, his 3rd of the night. So 5:46 left in the game over there, so not that far behind us, but they're up 21-14 over Riverwood.
Wow.
So slowly but surely.
Well, let's hope for our Cherokee County's sake that the Knights can hang on, because if they can, it sets up a doozy of a matchup next week right here on our Game of the Week between the Grizzlies and the Knights.
A game that might decide a home playoff berth.
You're right.
Both these teams still have yet to play Johns Creek, and then Creekview still has yet to play Riverwood, but certainly a big game next week.
For sure.
Shotgun snap right here. Rhodes looking to throw, firing deep. He's got another man there just beyond the outstretched arms of the intended target down at the 30, as they were trying to stretch the field there with 1:39 to play. And
kind of scratching my head here, Dave. The ball's going up in the air. I mean, not that I really want to get home for bedtime, but run the football. I mean, there's no need to throw that ball down the field here. 4th down and 19 now for the Grizzlies. I assume the punt unit is coming out here.
They might run a fake right
yeah,
here. You never know. They're down on their 30, but they want to get that first down and run the rest of the clock out there. So
with the
preserve that shutout, right?
With the running clock, Gilmer wins 62-7 final over there.
How about that? Huber puts his foot into it right here. This one possibly returnable, and it is. And the Chiefs take it at the 40 up to the 45. Pretty good little return there. A lot of traffic right there, but trying to make something happen on special teams. So the Chiefs presumably will have one more crack at it right here with 1:28 to play and a couple of timeouts to boot, as the Grizzly defense tries to bear down just one more time in this one. Again, Creekview 24, Sequoyah nothing here tonight. It's been all Grizzlies. 2 first quarter touchdowns kind of set the tone. Both those touchdowns within a minute after Sequoyah turnover, and then of course, the Grizzlies added another one a few minutes before halftime as Tyler Stevens with 2 rushing touchdowns tonight. McNeil booted a 33-yard field goal to make it 24-0, and that's where we're still at, as we've had no score here in the second half from either team. Bootleg pass this time, complete far sideline, and a pickup of about 7 or 8 on first down by the Chiefs, as Sequoyah again have not picked up a lot of first downs here tonight, trying to pick up one right here. 2nd down and 2, and the clock stops. Receiver went out of bounds over on the far side, so Chiefs buy him a little bit of time here. And that temperature's dipped down, but, it was a little breezier early in the day. This is kind of cold, but it's actually been a pretty pleasant night out here.
It says it's 53 degrees right now.
Yeah, that's about right, I guess.
Maybe we're not used to the cold yet. It's certainly a little bit chilly.
Here's Trainer under pressure, scrambles out of one would-be tackler. Near side, going to tuck it, run it, puts his head down, stays on his feet, takes a big shot, but still going, and finally wrestled to the ground at the 37. But a big gain right there in the first down, a gain of about 9 yards on 2nd and short.
Young man is very tough, and he has a lot of fight in him, and he's going to be a good leader for the Sequoyah team moving forward. It's very similar to what we talked about. You hate to say this, but it's very similar to what we talked about with River Ridge a couple years ago. You felt like, all right, Amir's here. There's going to be some pieces. Jackson Head last year got involved. It's like, okay, there are going to be some pieces, and then they finally put it all together. And Matthew Trainer is that kind of guy that you can build your team around. And being a sophomore, he's very tough, very resilient, very impressed with him in this game. Not so much from the passing ability, but just from his ability to be an athlete and be a leader.
Took a big shot and kept moving last play. Sets up a 1st down and 10 inside of Creekview territory.
Trainer going to swing it out to Jade Mitchell, but under pressure had nowhere to go, and he just had to run out of bounds with it. And then a flag comes flying in late. There might have been a little pushing and shoving here up against the near sideline as Mitchell was going out of bounds. Let's see what the penalty is. That'll, of course, stop the clock with 37 seconds left here. And Creekview going to get out of here with the win tonight, but Sequoyah is still playing for pride. They want to put some points on the board. I mean, they don't want to, trying to avoid the shutout here. There haven't been, looking at the history of this series is, of course, already as you talked about. I mean, there have been a lot of very close games. I mean, average margin of victory, just 8 points, in the ball game. It's went back and forth, a lot of 1 point, 2 point, 3 point type games. So this one here tonight, certainly an anomaly for this series, being 24-0. But the Chiefs wanting to dress it up, make it look a little bit better, and they will get a penalty on Creekview that'll push the ball inside the 30 down to the 26.
David Daniel just had a 107-yard pick six.
Wow.
County record for his length, obviously.
How about that? So Trainer out of the gun. Looking, firing towards the end zone. He's got a man there. That ball knocked away at the last second, and then it goes out of the back of the end zone. And they had a receiver open, but there is a penalty marker down.
It's going to be a hold out there on 54.
Yeah, Creekview not defense playing with a lot of pride, wanting to preserve this shutout. Brought the blitz in late, and all Sequoyah's offensive line could do was grab a hold of a jersey.
Mentor, another shutout inning there.
There you go.
So moving to the bottom of the second, Braves still up 1-0.
A penalty indeed, a hold on the Chiefs, so that'll back them out from the 26 all the way back out to the 38. And there's just 30 seconds on the clock here at the Skip Pope Memorial Stadium scoreboard. The Chiefs still have the makeshift video board over in the corner of the end zone. Still working on trying to get the main scoreboard video board working here.
Been a while.
And here we go. Matthew Trainer again out of the gun. Twins left, receiver to the near side. Going to load up, going to throw it. One-on-one. And that one beyond the arms. Good coverage there on the other side. And a nice job there by Nick Stewart, who once again had the play there in coverage, as Trainer just threw that ball up one-on-one to try to make something happen.
Yeah, great coverage by Stewart. Receiver never really made an effort to come back to the ball to force a pass interference call. So
never had an opportunity to come back to the football.
Well, the receiver's got to make a play on the ball, and then he gets pushed in the back. Will, come on now. You play defensive back.
I played defensive back, and that's why. Listen,
come on now, Pee-wee don't count. They don't even throw the football. They don't even throw the football, Pee-wee. All they do is run it.
Oh, boy.
23 seconds left in the game here. Sequoyah on second and 21.
How was the sideline at Southern Miss, by the way?
Here's second down and 20. Oh, across the middle, it is complete, but just not much there at all. And a hard hit taken down by Isaac Hubert.
Another Chief down on the field here.
Yeah, and I think that was the receiver there that I think Hubert kind of landed on top of, may knock the wind out of him there. And the clock will stop with 17 seconds left. It'll be third down and about 18 or so right here coming up. But first they attend to the injured Chief there at the 35. Yeah, it's been a tough night for Sequoyah, as we've talked about. No points. The defense has certainly had their work cut out for them, but they will try to rebound against Cambridge next week right here as they return in another big Region 7 6A matchup. Of course, Creekview shut out Cambridge a couple weeks ago before the bye week, 19-0. So back-to-back shutouts is what Creekview is staring at defensively. They only came in, as we talked about, allowing right around 7 points a ball game, and so that's going to go further down, and And that's impressive.
I don't care what level of football you're playing.
Right,
your
exactly.
opponent to under a touchdown a game. You've got a lot of football games.
Even Pee Wee football.
Even
Yeah,
Pee Wee football, especially Pee Wee football.
Oh, boy. That was a good one, Dave. I'll give you that one.
Well,
you got me on that one.
Slowly but surely, we're going to start working them in there a little bit.
Slowly but surely was your nickname.
Oh. I'll tell you what. I think we're just weirding Asa out at this point.
Well,
you know,
look, Asa's one of those guys. You know, he's a good guy, but I don't know if he has room to call anybody else weird.
Here's 3rd down and 18. Trainer rolling left, looking under pressure. He'll go down back at the 45. Big pressure that time. Grizzlies all over it, and unless Sequoyah burns a timeout, which I think they just, the clock does stop at 8 seconds left, and they did call a timeout. So I was just going to say, unless Sequoyah burns a timeout, this ball game's over with, and they did burn a timeout because they want to take one more shot at the end zone.
And you can't take them home with you. You know, we asked that question, why didn't they burn their timeouts in the going into halftime? They didn't. Hey, you get one more play and maybe a chance to get something to work. Maybe it's a confidence builder going into next week as Cambridge comes into town. Or maybe not.
I'm going to try to get another offensive snap, try to put something else on tape. I mean, it's all about evaluation, learning process, you know. So there you go. So Sequoyah presumably down to their final snap here in this ball game. Creekview a snap away from, as we talked about, pitching their 2nd consecutive defensive shutout.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, for Creekview, if you can pitch 3 shutouts in 5 games, pun intended, I mean, that's 100%. I mean, you got to be ready for this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, you know, moving forward, you know, you got to look at Creekview, and you got to say the offense is greatly improved, and you got to be happy about that. But the defense has shown they're still the defense we know and love.
So 8 seconds left here. What should be the final play of this ball game. They'll sprint Jaden Mitchell out. And Matthew Trainer just going to tuck it and run it, and he will go out of bounds, or will they let it? And it will roll down to 0, and that'll do it. So a run all the way there. Trainer was trying to get out of bounds, so maybe set up one shot into the end zone, but time expired before he could get completely out of bounds, and that'll do it here tonight. The final score in this ball game, a dominating performance by the Creekview Grizzlies, who win it 24-0 over the Sequoyah Chiefs as the final on our Sutherland Nissan scoreboard. Both teams, Sequoyah into the locker room there, and Creekview will remain out on the field for just a few moments here as they both have their chats and talk things over. Guys, I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun, and we're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we will toss it over to the Sosby Funeral Home post-game show. Our very own Will Cooper and Art Mosley will take us out here tonight. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and listening in. Going to check out here again, Dave Garner with you. 2 minutes and then back with our post-game report. You've been listening to the Cherokee County Game of the Week here on North Georgia's 101.1 FM WLJA.
There's been so much talk about distracted driving, you're probably sick of hearing about it. Well, we'd rather you be sick of hearing about it than lose your life doing it. The caring staff with Sosby Funeral Home in Canton reminds you that we all have to go sometime, but don't rush it. Wait your turn and don't drive distracted. Keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, and make sure you stay alert and arrive alive. Drive safely and help us protect our teens. They're the only future we've got. Brought to you by Sosby Funeral Home, honoring life from 191 Jarvis Street in Canton.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Victoria speaking for Woodstock Furniture Outlet and Woodstock Mattress Stores.
Hey y'all, it's Victoria at Woodstock Furniture and Mattress Outlet. Now we know during post-COVID everybody's raising their prices, not us. And at Woodstock Furniture and Mattress Outlet we have the best 0% interest-free financing available. Come and see us at the furniture store in Akron, Hiram, Rome, and come and see our mattress-only stores in Canton, Kennesaw, and Douglasville, and get the best savings.
I want to make sure that your money outlives you and that you don't outlive your money. Hi, I'm Dave Garner, your local Woodman Life representative. When I'm not broadcasting, I'm doing my best as a poverty prevention specialist to help protect families from financial hardship. Call or visit me online today and see how I can help you and your family stay protected through needs-based life insurance and retirement options. Insurance protection, financial security, That's Woodman Life, standing strong for over 130 years.
Game on! Football's back, and we're celebrating at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County. Get game-winning offers right now. Drive the best-selling 2020 Nissan Rogue, or check out the redesigned 2020 Sentra. If you try it, you'll buy it. They're that good, fun, and affordable. Catch the savings now before they're gone. Only at the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cherokee County, across from the Holly Springs Walmart. Online at NissanNorthAtlanta.com. Remember, if it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much.